Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another insanely personal episode of the Heat Check podcast. You know who I am by now. If not, you ain't been paying attention, and you should be because we making big moves in 2024.
Yes,
My name
sir.
is Mr. Chaos. They call me Mike, Pharrell, whatever you want to call me. You listening, so it don't really matter. With me, as always, my brother, PR, the
What's going
big
on?
Puerto Rican
Yes.
Paul, whatever you want to call him. And today we have a guest that both of us were lucky enough to learn from and serve with while we're in the military. Paul, why don't you introduce our guest today?
All right. This guy I've known since Jesus Christ. I don't know. It's been over a decade, and I call him a brother. Um, ain't nobody else like him. Ain't nobody gonna be like him. This is my big bro. Some call him Thomas. Some call him TJ. Some call him Flowers. But he's gonna be country to me.
Yes, sir. What's good, brothers? For real, what's good,
Hey,
Mr. Chaos? And that dude, PR, that's my brother right there, man. These both my brothers, man.
Yeah.
Service that would never be ever disconnect right there ever in life. PR already know, man, that extra special bond went on,
Yeah.
especially when it came to the twos.
Yes,
And
sir.
also all of the trash talk we got to do. But
Yeah.
brothers, glad to be on y'all podcast. I
Appreciate it,
appreciate this,
man.
man.
hey,
What's
bro.
good?
When we got into the deeper part of this, we're starting a network, and we wanted the biggest thing is putting out positivity, right? Like you know, you have always been one of the most positive people I knew, even in the military, even when we had shitty first sergeants or shitty lieutenants. Or Sergeant Flowers was always smiling and joking and trying to make sure that troop morale was up. So we trying to do that. We trying to make sure that there's love out there, that we highlight greatness, and on top of that, we have fun,
Absolutely.
right?
Yes,
So
sir.
me and PR said, absolutely. I told PR, I was like, we got to get Flowers on here, man. We have to.
Without a doubt.
We
Without
have
a
to.
doubt.
Yeah.
One, because we can all talk shit about college ball. We
Bingo.
been there, done that. And on top of that, we all three have different perspectives on what happened to PR. And we're gonna get
Yeah.
into that towards the back end of the show. Right now, I want to talk about your feelings on the instant coaching change at Alabama. That I mean, it
Oh my
was
God.
not even taking a breath.
Man, I'm telling you, bro. It's like, man, what's going on? 2024 came in strong, boy, didn't it?
Boy.
But yeah, man, the news. It was very unexpected by many. I mean, the college football world as a whole, it was very unexpected. And you had the talks of it years and years prior, right? Like it seemed like every year before. After we get done, either with the college playoffs
Right.
or you know what I'm saying, with the actual season as a whole, everybody's talking about this is Nick's last season, right? But this year you didn't quite hear that.
Mm-mm.
And then boom, right? And it was just dropped like a bombshell, man. But nonetheless, the guy had an amazing tenure.
We got our first comment. Somebody said, "Roll Tide" with the thumbs down already.
It was chunky. It was chunky.
It's okay. It's okay to be a hater. Don't be a hater your whole life, though.
That's your nephew, Chunky.
We all right
But
though.
you cannot deny this guy's, you know what I'm saying, background. You can't deny what he did with that program. I'm talking about, it already was an outstanding program, but you got to understand, we was down in the dumps, before
Yeah.
Nick Saban came about and actually pulled us back to the standard that we was at, right?
You
We
know,
Man,
had
six
hold on.
titles. Six titles ain't no light work.
Hold on. We were just talking about this before you came on. Tell me the name of the coach before Nick Saban, because I have no idea.
Oh shoot, I can't remember his name right now. Before Nick Saban,
You a Bama
dang.
fan?
I
Don't
know, man,
nobody
I
know
can't
who he
think of his
is.
name right now. Saban just
They got spoiled.
Your boy Chucky said Bama going to any championship now is over.
Who said that?
That was Jasim saying that.
Bless your heart.
That's your nephew, Jasim, talking all that noise.
Oh, what's up, nephew? Good to see you on here,
Hey,
man.
we appreciate you watching. Hell yeah.
I know he gonna talk junk anyway, but I still love him. That's
We,
my
I'm
guy.
like, as much as I talk crap about Bama, and because we've had our beefs, in the years. Nick
Yes.
Saban is a proven head coach. He's the
Yes.
GOAT when it comes to college football. Like, he is the standard. Like, 7 titles overall, period, but 6 alone in a 17-year span, and always in title picture. Like, you can't negate. Like, I seen this comment on somebody's video talking about he's overhyped and overpaid. I'm like, how is that even possible to say? Again, you can hate on the man all you want, just because as a fan,
Right.
most
You got your school,
right.
right? You got your alma mater or whoever you know what I'm saying.
Let's be realistic here
But
for
you
a
got to be
second.
realistic. That's the
Yeah.
whole thing.
Like,
You
this
got to
is
be
Nick
realistic.
Saban, 17 years of pure dominance.
Yes, and
Like,
set the standard. He set a standard to where nobody could deny any school that came up against Bama. They was coming for the right to brag at least for a year.
and if
So
you
they
beat
brought their
them,
A game every time. Nobody
Bro,
could deny that.
you remember 2019? This is how recently. I mean, even up until this playoffs, right? But
Yes,
2019 was LSU's year. I mean, Joe
absolutely,
Burrow threw 60
absolutely,
touchdowns. Do you know
absolutely.
what the biggest highlight of the regular season for LSU was? Going into Tuscaloosa
Going
and
into Tuscaloosa.
stomping
Yeah,
Alabama. And it tells you how much respect that Nick Saban and that program has, that even in a losing effort,
right.
people were like, yo, that was the
yes,
hardest game LSU played all year
Yes,
if you
yes.
can beat Alabama,
in Tuscaloosa.
In Tuscaloosa,
even if it's not in
brother.
Tuscaloosa, but it holds a little bit more weight when you in Tuscaloosa. Like, trust me, I'm a Texas fan, so when we beat y'all,
Yes,
this again, I'm pretty sure that win for us kind of pushed us into the playoff picture this year. Again, that's the magnitude.
of playing Bama and
That's
playing.
that's what the weight that it holds.
Yes,
It's this isn't like you're playing Texas A&M or
right,
Oklahoma. We lost to Oklahoma, but
right.
that gets overshadowed because, hey, but we beat Alabama.
But you beat Alabama. Yep. There
Bro,
you go.
it doesn't
Every
matter. The
time.
rest of
Every time.
there are some programs for the rest of, if Vanderbilt, knock on wood, but if
Okay.
Vanderbilt somehow beat Alabama,
That's a
you would,
career win for that coach.
bro, that coach would get a $2 million
That's a
bonus.
career win for a
Because
coach.
do you know
Yeah.
what a win over Alabama does for a school's TV ratings and
Oh my
jersey
God.
sales? And
Ratings.
bro,
The PR would go through the roof. Listen, for at least 1 week straight, they're gonna be saying, we beat Alabama.
There you go. And I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate y'all honesty, because a lot of people would not be honest with these things, because this is what I usually
Do I get
argue about.
excited when y'all lose? Absolutely.
Absolutely. And that's okay.
However, I'm
Yes.
not going to negate what Alabama is. It is a power school. It is, when you think SEC football, Alabama is one of those 3 schools that you think of.
Absolutely.
Period.
Absolutely. If
So
not at the top.
if you take away talking about, well, Nick Saban's overrated, show me how.
Yeah.
Please
yeah,
show me how.
if this is my the here's
In
here's
over
my
a
thing.
decade. Yeah.
Yes, here's my standard for overrated. Can he fit his championship rings on one hand or 2 hands? If it's 2 hands, shut up. You can't be overrated. You can't. Because you're telling me Joe Torre, who was manager of the Yankees, multiple time World Series champion, right?
Yes.
You're telling me Greg Popovich, 5-time NBA title. You're
Phil
telling
Jackson.
me Phil Jackson,
Bill Jackson. Oh
11
my
11.
gosh.
can't even hold him on 2 hands. Needs 3 hands to hold his rings.
Right.
Like, bro, I don't care. After Nick Saban got 6 college championships, national championships, and I'm an LSU fan. Everybody knows that. Diehard, dyed in the wool LSU fan. But
Absolutely.
look, you win 6 national titles. I don't care about any coach that ever came before you.
Yes.
And unless the next coach wins 6, I don't care about any coach that came after you.
This is how crazy Nick Saban's stat line is. This is how crazy. And I'm gonna let you finish this off, country. The man got a title in LSU, went to the NFL for 1 year, was booty trash,
Yep.
came back.
Came back.
His after 1 year with Miami,
Yep.
went 10-2 his first year, and then his second year in Alabama gets a title
Run.
and hasn't looked back since.
And it was almost like 1 year on, 1 year off, 1 year on, 1
And
year off.
even if he didn't make the championship game, at a minimum,
Right.
he was at an
SEC
SEC championship
SEC
game,
championship.
or he was
Yep.
always. They were always by the end of the season ranked in the top 3, top 4 every
Absolutely.
single year.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Period. If that doesn't define greatness as a
With
head coach
double-digit wins
for every single year,
season, double-digit wins. Where they doing that?
how else do you define greatness?
I don't that's the thing is like there are certain criteria for legend status, for Hall of Fame status.
Absolutely.
If you as a head coach get 6 national titles,
Right.
and if you don't make college football Hall of Fame first ballot, they need to burn it down.
That's true.
Because there's nobody more deserving from a coaching standpoint.
Let me ask you one question. How many people how many coaches do you know that are actively coaching before they retire, get a statue put outside the stadium before they actually retire?
Actively coaching.
Actively coaching, get a statue.
Only one other coach that I know actively coaching has a statue outside of a stadium.
Who?
His name is
Who,
Doug Peterson. Doug Peterson. He has a
But
statue
outside
of the
but
link.
that's not even comparable to Nick Saban. But I get what you're saying.
Okay.
You asked.
Okay.
I answered.
Okay.
I'm not
However,
comparing.
but Nick Saban had a damn statue put outside the stadium, and the man was still coaching championships.
It just was what I think that was probably championship 3.
So
When
I'm
that was
like,
put out there.
so again, 17 years of double-digit wins,
Yes.
6 titles.
Yes.
What do you
And I think
expect
he had 9 or 10 SEC titles.
SEC championship. Yep.
So what are you expecting now from this new coach? I mean, you can't come in.
Oh my gosh,
and
man.
you can't.
He took Washington to the
operate-
title game. He
I
got
understand that, but you can't come in and operate like Bill Belichick, obviously, or
Like
Nick Saban.
Right.
You cannot operate like him because nobody else is Nick Saban.
No.
Right.
But you also can't come in and just crap all over the culture that got built there.
You
So,
can't. You
this
gotta
new-
those some big shoes you gotta fill. I actually when I said, hey, they're looking, right? Man, they're looking before they actually picked coach what's his name?
Kalen Kabor or something like that.
Yeah,
Kabor.
Yeah, before they picked him, I was like, oh man, this is gonna be a hard, you know what I'm saying, choice. I hope Nick has his hand in hand picking. You know what I'm saying, to where it's like, you know how it was in the military. You know, the first sergeant didn't have a hand in picking them, but he did a right seat ride, right?
Right,
If they
right.
was good NCOs, right, or good commanders, they made sure they did a right seat ride with their incoming, right? To where,
Right,
hey,
correct.
this is the walk, even though they might still come in. But I was just like, man, I knew it had to be a strong coach for one. A couple of my friends was like, they was thinking it was going to be Kiffin. I was like, no, Kiffin is a pushover. He's weak. No, absolutely not. Leave him where he at. It was good to have him while he was there, but he's a little pushover, if you ask me.
Right,
That's
right.
too much pressure for that dude.
Yeah, there would be too much pressure for him alone, right? And then who else? We was talking about, but either or, I was like, man, it's going to be it's going to be some big shoes to fill, but it's going to also be hard. You need to be a hard, you know what I'm saying, charging coach. Now, when they picked him, I was like, it's Washington. But hey, they did their thing this year. I got to give it to them. Can't take anything away from it. Can't take anything away from his stats, too, over the course of his coaching career. But I was just like, well, I haven't really paid attention to this coach like that, you know, so I'm just hoping he can come in and still have, you know what I'm saying, that same, you know what I'm saying, just strength to be able to, you know what I'm saying, not only create that culture with the players like Coach Nick Saban did, but also to be able to bond with them and actually grow that program or keep it at that level that is at.
Do you think y'all recruiting is going to take a hit?
I do. I do. Because a lot of people wanted to go to Alabama because of Nick Saban. A lot of people, you know what I'm saying? You know, Nick Saban, you know, he makes his rounds. You know, he visits these guys. A lot of them is wanting to go there because of his statue, right? Not his actual statue, but his statue of being that leader that he is and the type of coach that he is, but also that program he can speak it. I'm telling you, and who wouldn't want that person to be their leader
Right.
or to get them to the level of shoot what? How many Heisman Trophy you know what I'm saying? Trophies
I think
winners he had in the program, right?
I think he had
Out of
3 or
those
4.
decades.
I think he got 3. Mark Ingram, Derrick
Including
Henry,
Four. So
4,
four Heisman winners by one coach, right?
and he
Over
got
his tenure.
49 first-round picks and only 23 losses. How
Right.
many coaches can say they got more first-round pick than they
So
do
his
losses?
stats, well, you hear what she's saying, right? The stats is just bananas. So it's like, who wouldn't want to be a part of that program to be able to say, "Hey,
I was
I
here.
probably would have a chance." But at the same token, you got to come and play up to his standards. I tell people all the time,
Yeah.
Nick Saban, you got to play to the standards, or you will not play.
Bro,
He will snatch
And
you out.
he
And
said
he
it in the
showed us
interview before.
exactly. There you go. He just showed us that.
that
Hey,
national
if they're
title,
not playing where they want to be, they're not going to play.
that
And he's
national
quick to pull you. He's quick to pull you.
that
Bruh.
national
And
title
I don't get
game,
mad at him about it either. Because
the
that's
national
what you
title
want.
game where he pulled Jalen in a half
Yeah.
and put Tua in.
Yeah.
I mean,
That-
it shows you, but if you listen to the way, this is the crazy thing about Nick Saban. If you listen to the way he talks about his players,
Yeah.
listen to the way he talks about Tua now, the way he talks
Yeah.
about Jalen, the way he talks about Jerry Jeudy or Devontae Smith.
Yeah.
Like you're a head coach, and you get the first wide receiver to win the Heisman Trophy in Devontae Smith in, I think it was like 35 years or something like that. The first
Yep.
non-quarterback to win it.
Non-quarterback. Yep.
And then so it's not just the national title games and the rings and the trophies. It's look at the players he develops, look
Yep.
at the people who learn under him, right? Like
Absolutely.
his player tree, we were talking about this, is ridiculous. I
Absolutely.
mean, Jalen,
You do got some
Tua.
busts though. You do have a
Oh
few busts.
yeah, but
Yeah, once
you,
they get to the NFL, that's true.
However, comma
But
though.
however,
you
a
also
lot
have
of them become busts when they get
you
to
have
the
a
NFL.
lot more. I think you have a lot more successful players in the NFL now from under Nick Saban than you have bust from Nick Saban.
But I think it's just the simple fact that it's like you said, Country, knowing that you're gonna play in Alabama
Yes.
and knowing that even if you don't get to start your freshman or sophomore year, the moment that you do get to be on the field, one, you're going to play a system that's going to bring the best out of you because he's going to push the absolute last bit of sweat out of you to make you perform better than you thought you could.
Absolutely.
He is giving you, one, the spotlight on front of national TV because how many of them Alabama games are going to be on national TV every Saturday?
Yes.
Every single one.
You know what I'm saying?
single
And
one.
so it's giving you a platform to be like, all right, Nick Saban's trusting me, so
Yes.
now I gotta perform at 120%. You're giving these kids the opportunity to live their dream, not only on the college level, but you're giving them the opportunity. Like you see the kind of the I don't know how to say it. Not just the prep, but the type of work that the ethics that he puts in these players to give them the opportunity to be like, yo, I'm gonna make it to the pros.
Absolutely.
Well, you got to think too is
Absolutely.
I think SEC coaching in general, but Alabama, and I hate giving Nick Saban this much credit because I fucking hate that guy. But
I'm glad I
Alabama,
don't got to deal with him no more.
but
Only
I'm
because
glad.
he left them. That's all. That's
SEC,
why.
yes, exactly. SEC coaching is probably the closest in college that you're going to get to the NFL. And Nick Saban is the very closest because NFL coaches coach hard.
Yeah.
I'm going to get in your fucking face and I'm
Yeah.
going to tell you you're fucked up because you just made $5 million
Absolutely.
and you can't catch a ball. So
Absolutely.
yeah, I'm going to get. So Nick Saban,
He got that sauce by going to be able to be a coach for
Exactly.
the NFL. So he was able to grab some pointers and things, and he
Yeah.
brought it back to
And-
the college realm. And
exactly.
So,
And we've seen other college coaches go to the NFL and come back and not have success like that.
exactly.
Chip Kelly is a perfect example, right? Chip Kelly was this wonder coach. Yeah, fuck Chip Kelly. I hate him too. Chip Kelly's yeah. Anyways, Chip Kelly goes to the Birds, has 1 year of success, right?
Okay.
We go 4-12 the next year, so he gets fired, goes to San Francisco, ruins that for like 5 years, gets kicked back down to the college ranks, and I haven't seen Chip Kelly near a national title game. I don't know, in 15 years
Since he was in Oregon.
Oh, man.
because
He's trash.
there's something about Nick Saban isn't there. This is the reason that as much as I hate him for leaving LSU, I can still kind of admire and respect him.
Yeah.
Nick Saban has been Nick Saban the entire time. It's not
Absolutely.
just an offense. It's not just a defense.
Defense. Yeah.
It's Nick Saban saying, "Look, we're going to win, but in
Yep.
order for us to win, center, you have to pull,
Yep.
guard, you have to cover him pulling."
It's
But
a
that
culture.
means, yes,
Man, he's an
exactly.
awesome
You
coach.
have to play for this person and
Yes.
that person, and it's not just about you. It's about the A on the top on your helmet. It's about the crimson and white that's on your jersey. Like
Yeah.
he's the. Do y'all remember Sar Major Saitola from 3 Corps?
Okay. Yep.
Sar
Yep.
Major Saitola gave my WLC speech, right?
Okay.
And this dude made me want to go to Afghanistan with a dull spoon and run up a hill. That's how motivational
Yeah, he was motivated. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah.
That's what Saban is. Saban is that type of leader because you know he'll be right there
He
with
gonna
you
be
with
right
another.
there with you. There it is. That's it.
That's
right
what
there.
it is. That's the thing that I admire most about Nick Saban.
Because he would
And
be out there on the drills. He'd be out there. I mean, I don't know
Old
if you
as
watch any
hell.
other videos with him, just seeing him out there.
7,000 years old, just out there sweating in Tuscaloosa.
Right.
Like,
And so I watched this. Of course, y'all know I'm going to watch everything, Alabama, everything.
Yeah.
You know, his interview about
We
his
know.
retirement. He just basically just said, "Hey, if you get to that point to where you can't stay, you know what I'm saying? We're getting up in age, right? You know, we can stay up late. But
I'm
shoot,
young
it's gonna be
forever.
hard for us to get up the next morning, right? You know what
Yep.
I'm saying? To move around. So he's just like, hey, it's getting to that point, where he's not gonna be able to give it his all like he, you know what I'm saying, like he would want to do. So he said he just, you know what I'm saying, realized that it's time. So I mean, I'm glad that, you know what I'm saying. I would rather a lot of people, that like I used to say about the boxers, about basketball players, stop while you're great.
Please.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Leave
It's
on
so
top.
embarrassing to see when you're at your best, and then you want to you just got to do that. I got to go, and then you get knocked out as a boxer, or you know what I'm saying? You know what
You
I'm
get
saying? You just
embarrassed.
start being the worst player ever in basketball or football, whatever it is. Just everybody's looking at you like, why didn't you stop while you was great? Because that just all of that horrible stuff just overshadowed
Yeah.
your greatness, right?
Yeah.
And so, because we already know, we like to say with military, they say you can be the best soldier there is. It take one little F up, right?
And
And
it's
that was
over.
overshadow all of the best
Yep.
and great stuff you've done. So that's the same thing. So I'm glad that he actually did that. Am I happy about it? No, I'm not. We'd love to have him forever, but we know we can't.
Right.
But I thank him for, his tenure. I thank him for everything he done done. Let the man go and be great. Enjoy his retirement. Hell, I'm enjoying mine. So, damn
Yeah.
it, Nick, go enjoy yours. I'm still a roll tide to the core. We're going to be watching, just like the rest of the world is going to be watching to see what the new coach do. And what he bring. You know what I'm saying? Actually, I'm definitely going to be at the freaking A-Day game now, but because we want to see what you got in store.
I need to see what you got going on.
You know what's
But the
crazy though?
world is going to be watching too. I can
Oh
promise you
yeah.
that. I can
I
promise
thought
you that.
when I got because I got it through Bleacher Report on my phone, I was like, get the fuck out of here. Nick Saban is gonna die on that coaching bench. What are you talking about?
Right.
And then ESPN came out with it. I was like,
Yeah.
oh,
This is real.
I was like, no, this is what gets
Yeah, I
Jim
got that
Harbaugh
alert
away
too,
from
man.
Michigan.
Yeah.
I thought this
You
job
think
would
he's
be
gonna jump?
I thought he would.
Hell no.
Jim Harbaugh from Michigan to Alabama.
Hell no.
Why wouldn't he?
No.
No. Listen, I'm gonna tell you this right now.
Nah.
I would probably see Jim Harbaugh go back to the NFL before he
Yes.
go to Alabama.
Before he go to Alabama, yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Explain that to me. 'Cause
So this is
to me, let
this
me
is
tell
for
you
me.
why let me
Okay,
tell
go
you why
ahead.
I thought that. I don't think there's a lot of things that are going to pull Harbaugh away from Michigan. I think it's going to take something big.
Yeah, a big bag.
Yeah, which Alabama can afford.
Yeah.
That's not the reason why he's not going.
And they are probably one of the top five closest teams to winning a national title game next year. So you come from Michigan into a top 5 team, you inherit the culture of Nick Saban. So that means you don't have to come in immediately sticking your feet in people's asses. You can just come in and coach and be a great coach.
Right.
I figured that to me is enough to lure anybody away from almost anything.
You ready?
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna give you 2 words why he would never have gone there.
Why?
Nick Saban.
Do they like hate each other or something?
No,
I don't.
let me explain something to you. For the new coach coming in, yes, they're big shoes to fill, but
Mm-hmm.
this new coach also has just a slight bit of grace because it's like he's still proving
He's
himself.
still proving himself. There you go.
Jim Harbaugh is already
Already
here.
on. Yeah.
So as soon
And
as he
so
comes to Alabama, he needs to
he's going to be
stay here.
overshadowed. Yep.
And if he can't stay there,
Yep.
he
Yep.
gone. So if he
Yep. Nick
stays in
Saban's
Michigan,
greatness is going to definitely
it's like
overshadow.
it's just think of it as comparable to Michael Jordan and LeBron James. You want to know why LeBron James won't shave his head? Because he doesn't want to be related. He doesn't want to be compared to already more than he already is. Again, it's not taken away from Jim Harbaugh's greatness because the man clearly is a great coach. Granted, he just won his first national championship, but that stigma,
Yeah.
I wouldn't
I
want to
could
do
see.
that.
You know what? I could see that being. Yeah.
I wouldn't want
being,
that.
Especially being a guy who's already been to the Super Bowl as a head coach,
Mm-hmm.
but even being a Super Bowl going to head coach, you're still in the shadow of Nick Saban. So I guess that makes sense. A less experienced, less big time moment having coach coming in. I can see that.
It gives Coach DeBoer a little bit of okay. I got big shoes to fill.
Right.
But maybe I may get a couple years to try to figure out, okay,
right. There
get
you
these
go.
ways. Jim Harbaugh, you ain't got no goddamn grace.
No,
I need you to be at the top off gate.
Because
because I know what you can do. I know what you're capable.
You are, yeah.
Period.
Okay, that makes more sense. So
I'm gonna have to get his name down. I'll be calling him DeBoer.
Just call him KB.
Let's
and I don't want to call him that. That's my name, but I'm gonna give him
exactly. That's funny, man. Let's move up into KB. Let's move into the NFL. You're a Falcons fan, right?
Falcons, baby. You see it right there. Rise up, man.
Yo.
I'm with them. Like I said, that's why I said there ain't gonna be no dirt off my back if we don't come heavy like Alabama should next year. Because like I said, I'm winning. I'm ride or die.
Who do you think's taking over head coaching?
Oh my God, we did just fire head coach. Goodness gracious, man. That's just two double whammies for me, man.
He's feeling it from every which way.
Man, I have absolutely no clue. If it was Nick Saban, I'd be ecstatic. But no,
you know damn well he ain't gonna do that.
I know it.
Stop it, Mike.
But, I'm trying to think
like if
when
Nick Saban could really
I was
do
just
that.
like, this is crazy, man. Like, sheesh. Come on now.
I don't know who's gonna.
And
honestly, I don't know if y'all got it. I don't know.
Here's what I see. Just me looking from the outside as Atlanta's problems. You have a fucking fantastic offense, but no leader on the offense.
No leader.
No quarterback. So that's gotta be your first round pick. It's gotta because you got number 8 again this year.
Yeah.
So I mean, you could legit.
Don't say it like that.
You could legit.
Eight is a big number, so we gonna hope the coach.
I mean,
whoever come in know how to come in and actually build the team, man. And
I hope so.
And I hope he uses y'all weapons the right way this year.
Because this potential, man.
And actually go and look and see. You know what I'm saying? You really got to go and you got to look at where your weakness is at and where your strengths at. You got to build off of that. But a lot of them don't do that. I don't know if they just come in and I don't know what happens when they go to picking, man, because especially for the Falcons. But I just be like, we didn't need that. we didn't need another. You know what I'm saying? We didn't need another wide receiver.
Y'all didn't need a Bijan Robinson last year,
right?
But, I mean, it worked out. Shit,
especially if you ain't got nobody that's gonna, you know what I'm saying, help them out.
So according to, I was just messing around with a mock draft the other day, but according to PFF, you guys need a quarterback, a wide receiver, edge, a corner, and a defensive tackle.
So everybody.
Yeah,
that's everybody, man. That's leadership and everybody. That's the whole doggone squad, right?
I mean, that's your back end, that's your front end on both offense and defense. Yeah. I mean, but for me, like, you know, me and PR talk about this all the time. We know what Chicago needs. Like, Chicago needs a line. They need an offensive line and one more wide receiver. Philly needs a whole ass end of our defense. Safeties, quarterbacks, linebackers, all of that. That's all we need. Our wide receiving core is good. Our running backs are great. Our offensive line is still the best in the league. We need an ass end of our defense.
Okay.
I just don't want to get stressed out anymore.
Bro,
You don't get that's gonna happen, brother. Because
I'm
you're a
tired.
Bears
the
fan.
reason why
I'm tired of losing.
You're a Bears fan,
college
bro.
football, you see more of the strengths there in college football. These guys play because they're playing for a reason.
They're playing to
To
get that bag.
they're playing to get to that to get to the national. You know, want to get to the NFL, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
So my thing is, once they get there, it's showboat time, but it's also I can chill time. You know what I'm saying?
I don't
And
got
it's
time for you to chill.
if you don't, right, your fans don't have time for that. You know what I'm
No.
saying? It's like, what are you doing? Like when you watch this season, some of the best teams started out great, and now they are like the worst teams now. And
Yes.
Jacksonville.
some of the worst
Philadelphia.
teams are the best teams now. It's like, what's going on? You know
The
what I'm saying?
Texans, the Browns should have been dog water after they didn't win through all them quarterbacks.
Bruh.
Houston was supposed to be this good. Jacksonville was supposed to be the great team.
Bro, when I saw Houston, I said,
Wow.
Houston?
From
What?
where?
I'm telling
From
you,
where?
this season,
Oh,
this season has
my.
been. If you
the
think about
Twilight
it,
Zone.
Season,
look,
man.
Bieniemy left Kansas City. What's the worst part of their team right now? Their offense.
Who's their offensive coordinator?
Matt Nagy.
Ask me how I know how they trash. Because we was with him, and he made us look like trash.
Yo,
And if
come on.
Patrick Mahomes can't look good with that man, they
Right.
ain't got no
Nobody
hope.
can.
Right.
Nobody
And it's
can.
like how they keeping these guys, how they keeping these jobs, bro. That's the whole thing that be, you know what I'm saying? The coordinators. I'm like, how?
Bro, when
When
they
you watch
fired,
half of the plays, half of us can be sitting there and we reading what they're about to do, and it's calling it. It's like that's
And you keep
garbage.
doing the same thing over and over again. I'm like, bro, you ain't got nothing else on that clipboard?
bro, who are you telling? Brian Johnson, I swear to God, we get in like 3rd and 15, and Brian Johnson want to call a fucking wide receiver screen to Julio Jones. We're 15 yards behind. Like, are you kidding me? On a 3rd and 15, you're calling either a quarterback draw or
On
you're
the
calling a wide
3rd and
receiver
15,
screen.
I'm telling you, man. On the
It can't be no worse than you could do it. We doing it's 3rd and 8.
it's
3rd and
still
8. We
third
doing
and
it.
fucking long, bro.
And we doing screenplays. What are we doing screenplay for? Why are we running screens?
I'm telling you, bro. It's this year has been.
I don't even know. I
Ryans,
don't even know what to call it, man. I don't know if people being bought out. I don't know if
I don't know what is going on, but the coaches, I didn't think D'Amico Ryans was gonna be this good, but dude came in and straight up trade. And then, what's the old boy from the Raiders?
Antonio Pierce.
Man, you talk about a culture changer.
Yeah.
Max Crosby going to the media talking about, I don't want to play for nobody else but him.
But why haven't they hired this man yet?
Right.
Because I don't think they're going to.
It doesn't make any sense.
Because here's what you have to remember. Who was their owner? Al Davis, right? Or Mark Davis.
Mark Davis.
Al Davis was his dad, whatever.
Yes.
Right.
The apple don't fall from the tree.
How much did they? Oh my God! How much did they spend on that stadium?
I think it was like
$8 billion, right? Let's call it a couple billion.
More money than I'm gonna see.
They spent a lot of money taking them to LV.
What is Antonio? What is Antonio Pierce missing that goes along with that stadium?
His skin color.
Well, I wasn't thinking that way, you racist, but I was thinking star power. He doesn't have.
How?
Listen to me. You and you know why I know sports so much? Because I'm going to school for being a sports. You're a sports fan. You know, Country's a sports guy. Like,
let's go.
The average guy does not know who Antonio Pierce is.
Right.
He has no star power behind his name.
Right.
Now, if Chicago got him as a defensive coordinator or Philly got him as a D coordinator,
he hasn't really made a name for himself.
He just hasn't. Now,
how many head coaches have done that?
Yeah.
How many Super Bowl winning head coaches don't have a job right now?
Yeah.
I'm like the New York Giants coach before he became the head coach. Did you know who he was?
Of course not.
No.
So, but you knew who Antonio Pierce was.
I didn't.
Because he was a player.
He
played for the Giants and he played for the Redskins.
Fantastic. That's awesome. But here's the problem: is your average everyday guy who doesn't know what a QBR is or a passer, what the difference between
I'm like,
QBR
you're
and passer
valid. Those
rating
are
is.
valid points. Those are very valid
They're
points.
just not going to know. Now,
However, comma.
I will say, look, I will agree with you on one thing.
Okay.
It is Mark Davis. So does his skin color come into play? Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the guy who hired John Gruden and got emails talking about,
Yeah.
his black players' skin color and how dark they were and shit like that. So, and he put up with it. If they would have never, if those emails would have never leaked, John Gruden would still be the fucking coach of the Raiders.
Yep.
So, does his skin color play into it? It could 100% play into it. But I think the way they spin this from a PR perspective is he doesn't have name recognition power. We built a $2 billion stadium, one of the nicest stadiums in the league. We need somebody who people know.
Yep.
So if you see a Jim Harbaugh or a Bill Belichick or somebody big, that's who they're going after.
why.
Even Mike Vrabel.
And because it's Las Vegas.
And it's Vegas, yeah.
They want to win, baby, win.
Yeah.
They're never going to win, not with the fucking horrible quarterback situation they got right there and not knowing how to treat their fucking. How do you have Davante Adams and you suck? I don't get it.
I don't know. I can't answer that one.
Like 2 years ago,
you don't get these guys. You like, man, they about to be a killer
and
team,
not
man.
do nothing.
2 years ago, Davante Adams was the best wide receiver in the NFL.
Now the only reason they talking about it is because he's on the Raiders and they suck.
Because he wants out. Like, I fully think at this point, to get away from the Raiders, Davante Adams would go back to the Packers.
And he went to the Raiders to play with Derek Carr, and then a year after he got there, you ship him out. Like, what?
Craziness.
Just
man.
dysfunctional.
You're gonna have a white head coach in Las Vegas. It's just
probably going to be Vrabel.
Yeah.
I hope not, because I would love to have him as a defensive coordinator. But look, Philly, I'm trying to get everybody as a defensive coordinator.
We see that. Trust me, I've been hearing it all year.
Bro,
we're going to send PR out there, man. I think PR,
I'm going to make them boys do up, down, goes all
PR,
day.
you can take your
you
defensive.
the man with the picks, though, man. We gotta send one of the greats. Either one of you two got to get out there. You know what I'm saying?
That's funny. You can have Sean Desai back there, Paul, too, because that guy's trash. Super
Why
trash.
do I want him?
Because he was a defensive coordinator for the Bears.
I don't want him back.
Well, we don't want him anymore.
Go put him in the couch.
Probably going to. I mean, he already got
Look,
thrown away from Matt Patricia.
Man. We got to get somebody in there.
Well, I'm gonna pray for y'all.
I gotta do something. So I gotta plug Paul. You saw those Funkos I posted earlier. The guy
these was fire.
I want to send a big plug. He just opened his Instagram too. His name is Funko After Dark. FUNKO After Dark. He will essentially graphically design you as a Funko Pop and do it in a bunch of different ways. He didn't charge me anything. I told him he needs to because it's super dope.
Does he want to do me next?
I told him I told him, I said, look, dude, if I like these, I'm gonna blow your spot up. I said, I don't have a whole bunch of followers, but I got people.
Blow them up, man. I'm definitely gonna get with them.
But I told him, I said, look, I don't got a bunch of followers, but I got people that if you do good work, they're gonna fuck with you. So
absolutely.
So it's Funko After Dark on either Twitter
After Dark
or Instagram.
Let me go.
He's fire. I mean, his account, his Twitter account only had 10 followers when I followed him this morning. And he just made his Instagram account. So
he got a follow out of me after you sent me them pictures.
Man, me too. Just hit it. Kurt, we got you, brother.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hit him up for some stuff.
Yeah, it's fire, dude. When we get the new Check the Woods logo, So
I just hit him. Just hit him now.
Bet.
Yeah, appreciate for that plug, brother.
Absolutely. The dude he's crazy. Now this is the part of the show where it's gonna get a little heavy. So everybody, if you're not ready to get emotional, if you're not ready for people to get crazy real, and 3 different perspectives on this situation,
yes, sir.
This might be the time to either tune out or prepare yourself, because this is not a look. I'll just put it this way: we were all 3 in the military, so we all have really sick and twisted sense of humors. This is not a joking matter, but there's probably going to be us talking shit to each other just to kind of get through it.
Yep.
So if you're offended by dark humor or if you're offended by joking in the middle of talking about death, this is
Right.
not the episode for you.
Right.
Paul, I want to get your take on this first before, because you haven't really sat down and uncovered everything that happened.
This will be the absolute first time that I've talked to people about it with,
Publicly.
bits and pieces about it, but not in depth of my point of view. And some stuff that people might not know the extent of, not just what happened, but the after fact. People tend to not realize that. Um, so what basically happened was, we were going on a trip. This was back in 2019. It was me, my wife Maya, which is my pride and joy, my rock, my everything. She got me through
Shout out
this.
to Maya. What's up, sis?
Um, Without her, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't even be here to tell this story today. Um, it was me, Maya, Olivia, my daughter, my brother-in-law, Myron, his daughter, her dad, her godmother, and her godmother's daughter. We were going to go to Disney World. The plan was to bring in 2020 with good family core memories. And so it was a few days after Christmas. Right before, on the way there, I was already feeling sick. And for the people that know me, I'm diabetic. And being diabetic, you have a compromised immune system. So when you get sick, it hits you a little different.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I didn't know to the effect of how sick I was. And by the time we were leaving to New Orleans to head to Disney World, we were going to drive from New Orleans all the way to Florida. And Maya was telling me the night before we was leaving that I was acting a little wonky, but I couldn't feel it. I couldn't tell or nothing like that. I was waking up talking hysterical, saying things that didn't make sense and stuff like that. And that day, the last thing I remember, it was December 28th. The last thing I remember was walking down the stairs from my father-in-law's apartments. And then the next thing I remember, I'm handcuffed to a hospital bed.
Oh, wow.
So in this time, I'm on some heavy medication because what Maya told me was the doctors told her that I was losing oxygen to my brain and my organs were failing on me. And so they had to put me in a medically induced coma to try to let my body rest. And I had to get put on a ventilator to help me breathe because I was having trouble breathing. And they asked her if I was on dialysis or have I ever been on dialysis. And she was like, no, he's not. And I was like, well, I'm pretty sure after this, he's going to be on it because his kidneys are probably going to fail him. And my sugar levels were at 900. So
Christ, brother.
I should not be here right now. And, like my body should have shut down on me.
Mm-hmm.
And I was under some heavy drugs and I was hallucinating real bad. A lot of things felt real. A lot of things that I was dreaming about felt like it was happening in real life. Like I was fighting people. I was doing some crazy stuff. Like I thought I was getting put into some fight clubs. I thought I was getting sold and whatnot. And then apparently I was fighting nurses. And trying to pull my IVs out of my arm. I was just, at one point, I told my wife, and to this day, it still hurts me. She tried to calm me down and she said, babe, it's me, it's your wife. And I told her, yelling at her, I said, you're not my wife. And it was heavy because it's like, what do you mean what do you mean?
Right.
And it's like, of course you're my wife. And so in that time frame, hearing all the stuff that was going on with me and that what was happening and what happened to my body, and then to be able to say that I'm still here, it's I remember when I got my phone for the first time after I came to, and it was a struggle to even function, to walk, to just eat. Like it was hard to just to do regular normal things that we take for granted on a regular basis, like eating, drinking water, being able to talk normal, feed myself. Like Maya had to give me she had to bathe me because I didn't have the strength. I got so sick that I got down to 160 pounds. Like it was bad. And Mike was ready to drop everything he was doing to come to New Orleans. I'm like, and then, Country, he called me,
We all.
everybody, I couldn't even count how many messages and phone calls and everything that I got while I was out. Like, for anybody that's not spiritual or spiritual, it doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, in that week from December going into January of 2019, going into 2020, God was literally right there.
Yep.
And he was watching me. He was listening to all my family and friends. If I get emotional,
Oh no, I understand, brother. Take your time, brother.
and it's not just that part, it's the after effect.
Yep.
Having to figure out what a new normal is. Because even before New Orleans, I was in the hospital for a month. I had 3 compression fractures. I got diagnosed with heart failure at the age of 33. I had to get a pacemaker defibrillator implanted in my heart because my heart was failing me.
Ooh, man.
I'm 36, going to be 37 years old. I can't work. I can't do normal things like I used to because my body just isn't up to par like it used to. Am I angry? Of course. Am I grateful? Absolutely. I'm like, I went to a depression state that nobody should have to go through. I put my wife through some things that she shouldn't have had to go through. My daughter had to see me in things that no kid should have to see their parent go through. To this day, it's been 4 years, and to this day, every time my daughter sees me have to go to a doctor's appointment for a checkup, she's like, "Are you going to stay there?"
Right.
My daughter has PTSD from seeing me in the hospital so much. And I can't fix that, but I have to let her know, hey, it's just a checkup to make sure that I am okay. I'm coming back home. I have to reassure my daughter every single time I have a doctor's appointment, because she's scared that I'm not coming home. And she's 9. She had to witness me in all this mess when she was 5 years old.
Yeah, that's a lot.
She had to come home she had to get out of school to come see me in the hospital, and then had to leave me in the hospital for a month straight in 2019. No 5-year-old should have to do that. She's about to be 10, and she still got trauma. Am I better than what I was 4 years ago? Absolutely. Do I still have trauma? Do I still have my dark moments? Absolutely. But I have my wife, I got my friends, I got my family that keep me where I need to be. They keep me grounded. My wife tells me this every single time. You can be angry, you can be mad, but just make sure you don't unpack there.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's it.
So I was there. I was in a new job when this happened. I was working on Lackland Air Force Base when this happened. And I don't remember if I think it was Maya who messaged me and
Probably.
told me what was going on. And I literally went in and quit my job. I told him, I said, my best friend is in the hospital, and I'm gonna get emotional about this.
Yep.
I said, my best friend is in the hospital, and y'all aren't paying me enough to stay here and give a shit about this job when my best friend could die. So I quit my job, and I went outside, and I literally started messaging Garcia and Jones and Billups and everybody, Flowers, everybody I could find, and just like, hey, Paul is going through it. We got to get on this. And I think I might have overstepped a little bit where people were trying to overwhelm.
Yeah.
But for me, it was like, look, when Maya told me, when Maya told me this happened, my first thing, look, we've all been in the military, we've all been around death.
Oh
We
man,
know what it feels like and what it smells like and what our
yes,
body feels like when death is coming, right?
Yeah.
When Maya messaged me that, my immediate thought was, and this is morbid, but I need to get everybody
yeah,
ready for his funeral. There will be as many fucking people there to remember my
oh yeah.
guy as possible. And I overstepped a little bit. Everything's good. I mean, it's not like anybody's mad at anybody. We
No,
just
you did good, brother, and I appreciate you. I really do appreciate you. It did hit me with a ton of bricks, but that let us know how deep our bond is. That we know the right ones to notify in that time, and it got the prayers out, brother.
Yeah.
It definitely got the prayers. When I say we went into praying like no other, and I'm just so thankful for you, and I'm so thankful Maya, too, because she was letting us know as well.
yeah.
You was definitely the guy that stood in the to help alleviate so many people wanting to call, what I'm saying, PR, and when hey Maya's already, she's just dealing with it, and you was like, hey, I got it. Y'all need anything, what I'm saying, just let me know. I'll relay any update,
Yep.
anything. So you did great, bro. You know what I'm saying? But that's what we do as the bond that we've created because of
Yeah.
the military. So I what I'm saying, don't beat yourself up, brother. You did amazing. I contest to that.
It
I appreciate everybody. Like there was like Facebook, I hate you sometimes because the memories piss me off because nobody wants to relive those moments. And it's
but
like,
bruh, it was what got me to get to everybody
Yep.
was
but
Facebook. I don't
it
have everybody's number, but I have every fucking body on Facebook.
There you go. Yeah.
waking when I finally got to my phone and I was able to see all those messages and Maya was able to show me what everybody was saying and how many people were trying to get information and praying and reaching out, seeing if I needed anything or if she needed anything. Like I don't really think people understand the strength that Maya is.
Yes.
Like even going back to 2019 when I was in the hospital for a whole month, my wife was taking care of me in the hospital, making sure I was good, getting Olivia to and from school, had a job, a full-time job,
Hmm.
and going to school full time, all while making sure that I'm okay.
Wow.
And that's not somebody that's weak. You know what
Nope.
I'm saying? Like knowing that I had her right there, it's like my biggest thing that I always wanted when I got married, even though is something happens to me, I
Mhm.
want to be able to know that my spouse can hold
Right.
the house down while I'm out.
Right.
And she was able to do that tenfold. And
Yeah.
it's like for the longest time, like my biggest issue when I got sick and when I finally got home from New Orleans was all right, so I got home and I got let go of my job. I ran out of FMLA. I wasn't cleared to go back to work. So it's like, what do I do? I got put on short-term disability. That happened. I still wasn't able to go to work. My specialist doctor was like, your heart is still jacked up. You can't take that kind of stress of, and this was prior to me getting the defibrillator put in. They're like, you can't go back to work. It's just not going to happen. You're not at 100%, let alone 50% to be able to get to work. I'm still
Right.
getting different regiments of medication to try to find something to stabilize my heart to get it stronger before they have to put the defibrillator in. So it's just like I'm not capable. So we're men.
Yeah.
You know, we are providers first and foremost before anything. That's
Yep.
just how we're built. And not being able to go to work and provide for my family, it does something to a man. And if it for
But you
any
have to
man and
think
it
about this.
doesn't
Yeah,
affect you negatively, you
You're
haven't
lying.
matured yet.
Yeah,
you're
you're
lying.
lying.
You have to think about this, brother. You can't. And I know a lot of people say that, man. But when it's coming to your health, how are you going to be there for him if you're not here?
And it took me a while to
Yeah.
come to terms to that, because
So,
in my mind I'm thinking the only way I'm able to provide is financially.
mm,
That was my mindset. You know
right.
what I'm saying? And it's not saying that's wrong, but Maya had to let me know. I was like, listen, babe, sit down for a second. And by the time we had this conversation, I was getting Social Security. I was doing what I needed to do. But she had to sit me down, and it really hit me. She's like, babe, you do more than enough. Even though you don't go to a building or do anything to actually physically go to work, you financially provide for us more than a regular human being does for themselves.
Hmm.
And then she was like, you get to take and pick up Olivia from school every day.
Mm-hmm.
You get to create memories with her every single day just by doing those two little things alone. I get to take her to UIL meets that she's doing for school now. I get to see her do plays. I get to see her do all this stuff. We get to do stuff.
Yep.
Yes.
And so this last year and a half, I've really come to the realization that it's like, yes, I physically can't go out the door and bring in the bread like a normal human being would like
Would
to
like to do.
in certain
Hmm.
situations to provide for their family.
Hmm.
However, I I get to
You getting
I'm
time.
here.
There you
You know what
go.
I'm saying?
You're getting that time, brother. You're getting that time. I think a lot of people don't understand. And I talk about this all the time. As y'all know, of course, I do a lot of things. But I tell them, you know what I'm saying? People are either time broke or money broke. Some people are both, right? But time is precious. That is something that
Mm-hmm.
you can't ever get back. Money, you spend it, guess what? You can
Yeah.
find many types of ways to get that money back. You cannot get time back. I don't care who you are. An hour ago, we started an hour ago. We can't go back and rewind back to 7:30 to start back over and say, "Hey, let's try this again." We can't. And
Yeah.
you can't go back and rewind back. You know what I'm saying? But you're
Exactly.
now able to put in that time and create those memories and give you a piece of you that is going to come, that's going to last,
Yeah.
outlive you with Olivia. That's going to outlive
Yeah.
you with Mike. That's going to outlive you with our, you know what I'm saying, with us. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? We're now getting that piece of our brother. We're all getting a piece of each other. Of hey, now that's here. It's up
Yeah.
here. Then we're gonna have those memories. Hey, man, we can talk about it. That is the blessing in itself that we can talk about it. All of us, you in here, right now, in front of us. We know where you was at, brother. I mean, bedridden, you guys. If you're out there, that was the hardest thing to see my brother in. Y'all, you just have to you have to know him. You know what I'm saying? But to see anybody, anyone that's your loved one, go, you know what I'm saying, from here, that lively person getting around, to on their deathbed, right?
Yeah.
But to have a surrounding like you, I mean, just to really have your wife who is a angel in her own right,
Damn
but
right.
your daughter and your crew that was behind you all praying and to see you pull through that right there was a testament to how God power is when you got such a surrounding of His people, and they're actually genuinely praying for you in your health and for you to pull through. And I'm telling you, bro, it was just a magnificent still recovery that you did, and I was like, man, I was just here for it. But I was always telling you, take it easy. You ain't
Yeah.
got to do just
What
like
was
when you
the
came
first
to my
what was the
retirement. Like,
first
bro,
thing
you
I
ain't got to.
did?
I'm coming. I was like,
Well,
bro, no,
the
you
first
know what I'm
thing I
saying? I'm
did as
like,
soon as I
no,
got
chill.
home,
You need to rest. I'm good. I'm coming. I'm like,
the first
oh
thing
my
I
God,
did was
that
like,
is the
I'm coming to
PR
your
that I know
retirement party. Ain't nobody was gonna like, ain't no way in hell I was gonna miss that.
though.
Hey, Paul, how long before this was your wedding?
So we got married. The one that you were in,
Yeah. Yeah.
that was 2018 of September. So just a little over a year.
So this is the crazy part that I bring that up to say this. When I saw Paul the last time
I was
was his
chunky.
wedding. He was a big dude. He was post-retired military dude, fat, bearded,
That's
happy,
my
in
brother.
love, great daughter, great in-law, like fantastic in-laws, which is
Yeah.
super rare. Like he was doing fantastic. And then when I saw him come out of the hospital, I was like,
Who's this guy?
who the fuck cut my boy in half? Like, what happened right now? I mean,
Listen, you know
it
how
was
much I weighed at that wedding? At that wedding in
probably
September, I
280.
was 285
Yeah,
pounds.
yeah. To see you 120 pounds lighter was crazy to me. Even to the point
Yeah.
that the next time I saw you after that was when I went to Austin. Remember, we were going to go to wrestling, and you still looked probably 180 pounds at most. I was like,
I was
man,
maybe 200 pounds around that time. So I was still,
yeah,
I was
it's
Still slim.
even after that, it took me because I weigh 275 now. Thank you, Lord. 'Cause ain't nobody trying to look. No offense, ain't nobody trying to look like no crackhead.
yeah, no, bro,
But I'm
you
like,
you can't pull off that skinny look. You just ain't
it
got
took
it
me
in you.
about a year and some change to put this weight back on. Again, going through different types of medication and going through, you know, I had to get my diabetes back in check because
Right.
it threw
Yeah,
everything out of loop. And I'm like, it it's a long. I'm still recovering. I have nerve damage. My back is still messed up. I lose like my part of my left thigh. I can't feel. I'm like, I have long lasting effects from everything that happened in 2019 and 2020. And in what was I'm in 6 years, I gotta go back and get this battery changed in my chest.
Wow.
Every 10 years, I gotta get this changed
so is that a
for the
is that
rest
a
of my life.
is that an open heart every time?
I got a scar that goes from here to here,
And they open that
Mm.
and they
scar up.
just gonna open it back up, change the battery out, and close it back
Done,
up.
done, and done. Yeah, that's
Jeez.
crazy.
So I'm like, do I
What I
wish
want,
this on anybody?
no.
Hell no.
What I want people,
I'm grateful. My wife tells me I'm a walking miracle every
You
day,
are, brother.
and again, that took me a while to realize. It's like because I look back and I'm like, yo, I should have been dead like 10 times over,
yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Yes.
but I'm here. I am extremely grateful. I thank
Man.
God every day. Cause every time somebody asks me how I'm doing, it's like I'm breathing. He goes, "Why do you say that?" Because if you'd have seen me 4 years ago, I wasn't breathing too good.
Yeah. What do they always say in the Medea movies? Extremely blessed and highly favored. That
Hey,
is you, my brother.
that's
Like
him.
you,
And I love that he shared his gratefulness too, and his love for God, bro. I'm just telling you, it just I don't know. We talk about you so much, man, and I get asked about how you doing, and I'm like, you doing it? Like, oh yeah, I saw him on. I'm like, yeah, I just love that I am able, that we're afforded to be able to still sit here and enjoy him and hear from him and hear him talk junk and
yeah,
keep people riled up. I'm like, because that's my brother, right?
Yeah,
And because we've lost a lot of brothers, y'all. We've lost a
yeah,
lot of our fellow, what I'm saying, comrades, and then what I'm saying, brothers that was close to us,
yeah,
military, wise, or just in our circle,
yeah,
right? And so we know how it feels. But when you lose, or you're close to losing somebody, it's just that dynamic, right? It's just like, oh man, I mean, it
I'm
was
not
just
ready.
crushed. It was
It's like
crushing,
you're not
man.
ready.
yeah. It was
Yeah,
a,
we
it was a
wasn't
whole
ready at all.
different
I was like, "This is
dynamic,
not about to
dude.
happen. This not going into this year. It
No,
was the beginning of a new year. I knew I was getting ready to retire. I was like, Lord, don't do this to me. You know what I'm saying? I know that was my biggest thing right there. It's like, please don't do this to me, Lord. Like,
yeah,
no, it was at the beginning of the year. It was just so heavy. But we prayed. When I said me, mommy,
Baby.
me, mommy, we on the phone. We cried. We prayed, and we was just like, he's gonna be all right. He's gonna be all right. That's how good God is. And
yeah.
boy, to see you pull through, to
Man,
see your face, able to hug your neck like no other, to where I was afraid that I was hugging you too tight when I did get to see you, man. But yeah,
it was definitely a time,
yes,
and COVID started like literally a
right.
couple months
The week.
after that.
Listen, it was like literally a few weeks after I got
It
back.
was
Hey,
a
everybody got shut down.
heavy.
What?
It was just
The
crazy,
entire
right?
the entire thing happened right after this dude.
Like it was
Oh
the
my
worst
god.
timing ever.
Oh my god, dude. So look,
You know
before,
what's funny? Before you go any,
yeah,
what's
yeah,
funny was right before COVID happened. Y'all, you remember that life vest that I had, Country,
Yeah,
that I
yeah,
had to carry
Yes.
around everywhere? Y'all, that thing was a pain in my whole ass.
Yeah.
yeah.
Cause that thing, if my heart went too crazy, beep beep beep
Yes.
beep, it was annoying. It was annoying. So the thing was, right before we were supposed, I think it was either right before or right after your retirement party, right before
Yep.
everything got shut down, I was
Yep.
actually supposed to go in to see if I was gonna get the defibrillator put in. But COVID happened. They said if it's not an essential surgery, it don't need
It
to be
won't.
done. And
Yep.
I'm like, I'm pretty sure it is essential, but
Yeah.
we gotta wait. And so I didn't get it till the end of that year.
Man.
So, but I'm like, 2020 was
He kissed my whole ass.
it don't
Bruh.
exist. I promise you, it didn't exist in my life.
I'm telling you,
Oh
bro.
my gosh. That'd be one year I really want to start over. You know what I'm saying? We were, even though, like I said, my
It's
bro, you know what I'm saying, he came out of it before the crisis of the
Because God
pandemic. We
knows
got
what
to
could have happened while I was
celebrate.
still in.
We got to celebrate hard that weekend, and then, like I said, that
That
week
we
after,
did.
like the world just went to shit. But yeah, man, that
it's
is 1 year I would like
yeah,
to
it's crazy.
I
do
want
over.
it
So
back. I want that year back.
no, really, right? We're sitting at we're just over an hour now. Before we wind down, I want to
This
get
long.
into some military memories.
Yeah.
Paul and I were talking before we hit. You know who we were talking about before we hit the camera? Sergeant First Class Fairley.
You remember
Fairly.
that guy? You remember that
Bro,
guy?
boy, have y'all heard from him?
No,
We
man.
were
We was
just gonna
hoping you
ask
would know
you.
it.
Oh no, P5. I think P5 know
Do
or
you think
has
he got
talked
his
to
number
him.
or something?
I think P5 has either seen him or talked to him. I think we was talking about him probably my last time in Texas. We was talking about I think he's still in Killeen, if I'm not mistaken. From
We
That
talking
gotta
wouldn't
get we gotta
surprise
get a
me.
hold of that
with
man.
P5, yeah, get with P5. I think
I'm
P5
gonna
will
get a hold
probably
of
have a
him. I'm gonna
contact
get a
with him.
hold of him. See if he got his
Yo,
number.
Sergeant
Yeah,
Fairley, this dude.
yeah,
When I first got to that
that's a
unit,
good guy.
so when I first got to the unit, like we had this platoon sergeant who I don't remember. We had a warrant officer. I don't remember. They were that insignificant, just kind of placeholders, right?
Oh man,
The first person that came up to me was former drill sergeant Tipton because he was my
yeah,
my
Tim.
my drill sergeant in
That's
AIT.
that's that man right there.
Came up to me and he was like, "Who the fuck let you in the active duty? Like, what the fuck are you doing here?" So me and him are bullshitting. And Sergeant Wade comes up. Tip introduces me to Sergeant Wade. He's like,
Uh
"Look, Pharrell's one of my good soldiers. Like, take care of him." Da 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 da. And then Fairley comes up, and I think he was Staff Sergeant Fairley at the time.
huh.
And he was like, "You look like you sing cadence." And I was like, "I don't know what you're talking about, Sergeant. I ain't got no rhythm." He was like, "Bullshit." He was like, "I better see you on this company run on Friday." I was like, Roger, so I ain't never met the man, not one time in my life. He was like, "You look like you sing cadence. I better
Man.
see you on this company run." Friday comes, and I think he was doing company PT. Because
Love some
263rd,
cadence.
all the NCOs, only the NCOs did Friday PT in 263rd. So
Uh
Star Fairley's doing PT. We get, when we turned left out of the parking lot and we're getting ready
Yeah.
to go down,
huh.
none of the people watching know what the fuck I'm talking about, but you two are having PTSD flashbacks from this shit.
I am, bro.
So we run in and we get down and Sergeant Fairley's, "Hey, la da da," it starts calling cadence, and I'm in the back just chilling, like trying to avoid it. He's like, "Pharrell, I told you I better see your fucking ass out here on Friday. Get your ass out here and call cadence." Made me call cadence the entire run.
Oh.
Would not let me hand cadence off. He was like, "Nope, you're singing cadence." We get back from the run. He was like, "Do push-ups."
Mm-mm.
I said, "What did I do, Sorry?"
Mm-mm.
He was like, "You lied to me." I said, "What are you talking about?" He said, "I knew you could call cadence. I knew you had rhythm. I knew you could do it.
Oh
And you
man.
lied to my face."
Yes.
That's the type of NCO Sergeant Fairley was. He was
Fairly,
like, "Look,
I'm telling you,
I'm going to
one of
bring
my favorite guys.
everything positive out of you."
My favorite memory of Sergeant Fairley, I think he had just got to unit. He became our section sergeant. And we were working out of 602nd motor
Deuce.
pool because our motor pool was stacked.
Uh-huh.
So we were working out of 602nd, and we were getting ready to change it to our coveralls to go work on these Humvees. And some random E5 comes into the office as we're changing. He says, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I need all y'all to come with me to get a detail. And as we're going back to get into our ACU, Sergeant Fairley comes in and goes, The hell y'all doing? He goes, we got put on a detail. Said who? I didn't tell y'all to go to detail.
That's my boy right
He's
there.
like, did they ask me first? They're like, no, but he came in here talking about he from battalion. He goes, I don't give a hell. Did they ask me first? Y'all is
Yeah, man,
my
that's memory
soldiers.
lane right there.
If they didn't ask me, y'all not going nowhere. I don't care if it's colonel, major, I don't care. And so we got back in our coveralls. Then the NCO came back talking about why y'all not dressed to go on this detail. And we all said, you better go talk to Sergeant Fairley. And he was like, where's he at? He inside. We could hear him from the motor pool cussing this E5 out.
Yeah.
Talking about, don't you ever come into my office again. Talking about, come get my soldiers for a detail that you need. You need to come talk to me first.
Exactly.
I'm like, and we all looked at each other. Oh yeah, he gonna be good for us.
There you go.
He gonna be a good NCO for us.
And it's hard to forget good leaders, man, and good, you know what I'm saying, that just really took care of everybody. He definitely was one that would definitely stand in. That was my battle right there, man. And we used to talk all the time.
He was my fucking guy. We got put on a detail with him. We got put on some ammo detail with him. Way the fuck, like way off. I think we were in West Fort Hood. We're somewhere way off main post, right? Sergeant Fairley was one of the NCOs, but since he was a staff sergeant, he wasn't out there with us. There was an E5 who would stay with us. Sergeant Fairley would come out every night. Civilian clothes. Sometimes he was in uniform, didn't care.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes he would bring beer. Sometimes he wouldn't. Sometimes he would bring pizza. Sometimes he wouldn't, depending on who was working. He pulled me into his office one day and he was like, hey, what's going on in that detail? Why is there nothing? I said, I'm not sure, Sergeant. You want me to go get Sergeant Perez? He was like, I asked you, didn't I? I said, Roger, Sergeant. I said, Roger. He was like, I asked you, didn't I? I said, yeah, Roger, Sergeant. I said, look, I said, to be honest with you, we don't get, nobody bothers us. We out there chilling. He was like, all right. He was like, well, here's the problem. You're one of the only weapons mechanics that I know I can depend on. So I'm pulling you off the detail. I said, all right, cool. From that day on, where I just did whatever he said. I never had an issue. If I had a problem with somebody in that unit, I went to Sergeant Fairley. I didn't go to my platoon sergeant. I went to Sergeant Fairley. My platoon sergeant. The hell was that other drill sergeant?
Sergeant Coombs.
Sergeant Coombs hated Sergeant Fairley for that because I literally I would tell the section sergeant. I would tell Sergeant Wagner. I told Sergeant Wagner, I said, hey, Sergeant Wagner, I don't feel comfortable talking to Sergeant Coombs, so I'm going to talk to Sergeant Fairley. He was like, okay. He was like, I don't care. He said, but understand that Sergeant Coombs is going to have a problem with it. I was like, okay, I'm not an NCO, so it's not, and he's my platoon sergeant, but I feel like I should be able to get counseling from any NCO.
Right.
And then when we got First Sergeant McClintock in, y'all remember First Sergeant?
Didn't he have a lazy eye?
First Sergeant,
First Sergeant, he had a heart attack. He was with me on Carson. Had a heart attack.
Oh no, yeah. I know who you're talking about now. I know.
So First Sergeant McClintock comes in and he sees me and Sergeant Fairley talking, and I'm not at parade rest. I'm just kind of at ease, right?
Mm-hmm.
First Sergeant McClintock put his hand on my shoulder and he was like, "Look, soldier, I don't know who the fuck you talking to, but if you don't stand at parade rest for that fucking NCO," and I'd lock up instantly. First Sergeant talking to E4, hell yeah, I'm locking up instantly.
Right.
So First Sergeant gets done talking, him and Sergeant Fairley, and then he's like, you can relax, Pharrell. Sergeant Fairley looks at me, he was like, I got you. Walks over to First Sergeant, he was like, look, Top. He was like, I dig it. He was like, but we're in the motor pool. We are not in a parade deck. We are not in front of battalion. He was like, I don't care. He was like, as long as they show me the proper respect that I've earned, I don't give a shit about standing at parade rest. He was like, I appreciate you having my back, Top, but Pharrell's one of the good ones. You don't have to worry about him. He was like, he's one of my misfit toys. So Sergeant Fairley, that was my guy, man. He was one of those NCOs where you could be like, all right.
Now listen, don't get it confused.
Oh, he would put his foot in
this man right here. This man, Kountry Flowers, Thomas Flowers. I may not have been in the same section as him. However, I had the honor. No,
This
the
guy.
privilege for this man to be the president of one of the best motorcycle clubs
And Colleen
on
too.
this planet. Listen, we
He's on
may
his
not
planet.
be in them cuts, and we may not be donning them cuts no more. But what we will forever be, them boys to life. And it's not the Cowboys.
Are they still are they still
Not in
riding?
Killeen, but they still up there in the north.
Yeah, they're in Houston and St. Louis
And Indy still. And there's one in there's two, one in Vegas, I think there's two in Cali or one in Cali.
Cali. Yep, Cali. They was trying
That's
to get
cool. Because I
But
know
this
the
man right
last
here,
the last interaction I had with them was shit,
I
Sal.
just
You were
talked to
still in them.
ATM a few days ago.
The last time
He's-
I had any kind of interaction with them
tell you,
boys,
man.
Sal, you were still rocking the cuts. You had your Jixer. You remember
That was a
night?
long time ago.
I came. We went and hung out at that pool bar in Harker Heights.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me tell you about your one. I'm gonna tell you about Country real quick. I met this guy through Jones, aka Gator.
Yeah,
Jonesy
right?
Jones.
I just got out the
Jonesy.
military. I think
Okay.
Jones was still in. You were still in.
Yeah.
But it was this man right here. If there's anybody that I've met that's loyal to it, like if Country calls you his family, that is exactly what you are to him.
Absolutely.
His mother makes one of the meanest daiquiris I ever seen in my life. You don't taste none of the liquor.
And I told them, don't mess with a
And I did not listen. And you remember what happened that night on your birthday?
Yes, I do.
I blacked the hell out.
Yeah, so for you
But
guys,
we took care of you too.
God bless your heart.
Y'all are crazy.
We all was crying. We all was on the floor.
Listen, but like this,
man, so it was like, we understand where he's coming from. We got you, bro. We like, hey,
like,
we
but
got you.
being friends with this man, through the years, good, bad, ugly, like I wrecked this man's bike. Any regular human being would have been like, "You dead to me."
You didn't whoop his ass? What the fuck?
And it wasn't just any bike.
You should have whooped his ass.
This
what the
bike,
fuck?
this wasn't just any bike, though, bro.
I was more worried. Long as he was okay, I was okay.
But Mike, you don't understand.
I was scared because I thought he went off a cliff.
I was like, this is the cliff. This is me.
So what kind of bike are we talking?
It's not the type of bike. It was what was on the bike. He had just got it painted.
Is this that famous Alabama bike?
Yeah, yeah, that's the one.
Oh yeah, buddy. So
he
look,
he was not happy with me.
For you guys listening, PR and Country have a different relationship, even from the unit, just because they were in a MC together. Yeah. That's a whole that's brotherhood within brotherhood within brotherhood.
Yes,
it's a whole different thing.
Yes,
I didn't have a whole lot of chance because when I was there, I was so much in the armament section. Mm-hmm. I didn't really have a whole lot of chance to interact with Flowers like that. But what you learn as a Joe in the military is who's a good NCO and who's not a good NCO. Absolutely. You learn who takes care of their people and who doesn't take care of their people.
It carried over to the MC world.
Yes, sir.
Heavy.
It has to. As a leadership role,
care of us. He watched over us heavy. I don't think I realized it till after he had left how big of an influence he was to me just in the MC community. Cause like I've never said this out loud or admitted to this.
It's all good.
When is this something you have to deny if people ask you about
I don't have to deny it, but if they're watching it and if they say I'm wrong, they lying. When Country left, we was good for about a year, maybe a year and a half as a group. And me and Country know the reason why it went to. We're not going to say the person's name out loud so we can give him recognition, but we can look at each other and we know exactly who he is.
Is he somebody that we all know through the unit?
You don't know him, but
okay.
Me and Country, we vouched for this man many of times.
Absolutely.
And it didn't work out, obviously.
And this human being that will not be named has karma's gonna get him.
Yeah.
One day.
He didn't have that brotherhood. It really
It wasn't genuine like the
It
way.
wasn't genuine. Yeah.
Like,
He was
this is the
talking.
thing. This is how I see it.
Yeah.
He has DB tattooed on his chest because that's what he is. You know what I'm
Was
saying?
he patch hunting?
He has DB tatted on his chest.
No, what I'm saying is, like, you saying he wasn't about the brotherhood. Was he patch hunting?
Oh,
Did
yeah.
he
He
want
was
that
all the way in.
president's
He
flash?
was
He was all the way in. He was a brother. He was in.
No. What I'm saying is, was he hunting for the president's flash? Like, was he hunting to
I
be
don't.
at the head of the table?
Part
Was
of me
that
says
what-
yes.
Yes.
Like 98% of me says yes.
Because if you're not for the brotherhood and an MC, the only thing that I think you gain out of it is angling for a VP patch
Like,
or
this is the
president's
thing. You
patch
could
or
ask
something.
Country. There was never. I was perfectly fine with not holding a position to save my life.
Yep.
It was not my desire. It was never a goal of mine. I was fine with just being a patched member and being a brother to my brothers and being there for my. And I was there for this young man. I'm
Yes,
telling
you
you
were.
right now, Mike, the
Yes,
things
you
that I
100%.
allowed to partake
Yep.
as me, because this. I'll put
That
it
you
like
would
this.
never let a normal human being
Not
do.
a goddamn soul could have done what he did to me and got away with it.
And got away with it. And hell, we didn't want to shoot. Hell, I was about to go to war for.
Because this is the thing.
I
Let's
was
just put it
like,
this way.
I'm
Let's
not
just
going
put
to
it
allow
this
you to
way.
do that. This supposed to be your brother. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing that I just, you know what I'm saying? Hell, like, you don't do certain things like that to someone
Because I'm like,
who's being loyal to you. You don't give them your ass.
I'm literally stretching my olive branch to you
Yeah.
because you are my brother
Yeah.
and you needed help. And I
did-
gave you
and did
the
return.
biggest olive branch. And when I wanted to ask for an olive branch back,
It
you want to
wasn't-
cut the tree off.
Yep.
This is the thing, right? Like, in any organization, you always have to have leaders and followers, right? Period. Not everybody's gonna hold an office in an MC. You have a president, a vice president, a secretary, and a sergeant, right? Like,
Right. So
and maybe a road captain in some MCs, and not even every MC, right?
Right.
But so that if you have a 15-member club, which is a decent sized club,
We was up there.
that means most of your members are not
You got
gonna
our
have.
picture up there.
Yeah, that means most of your yeah, if you have a 15-member club, that means most of your members are not going to have an office.
And I was content, Mike. I promise you. Whenever because I think almost every year we voted. Was it every year or every 2 years?
Every 2 years.
We voted. I'm telling you,
Paul, why you
my
playing,
name was
you know-
never put in because I never put my name in for not one position. Again, I didn't want it. His desire to do certain things, to move certain ways, like it just didn't align with what was already in place.
Yeah.
And after Country left, because he was already, even though he thought we didn't know, we knew he was PCSing anyway.
Right.
But even though we knew that eventually the time was going to have to come, because we knew Country was going to pull a career out of this. And nobody wants to stay in Fort Hood for 10 years on purpose.
Nobody wants to stay in Fort Hood longer than they have to.
So I'm like, we knew the inevitable was going to happen. But it was just like, when we saw the shift happening, I saw the change happening, and I didn't see it at first. And by the time I saw it, I was like, damn, Country was right.
Bro,
when tell them, man, I was trying to get them in the right way and make sure they was in the
And
right
it was just too
but
late.
But being brothers, what I saw, you know what I'm saying, and I commended them for that because they looked after their brother, right? You know, like I said, I just didn't see the brotherly love from him. I didn't see it within him. They saw it. And they, you know what I'm saying, as brothers,
we gave him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah,
we
they
just gave him too much benefit.
Hey, this is our brother. Let's be loyal to. You know what I'm saying? And that I didn't get that from him just by things that he was doing. You know what I'm saying? To try to discredit.
He definitely
me
manipulated the
my
situation.
name. Yeah, so it was just like, man, what you know what I'm saying?
And it's like the fact that Country still talks to me, because the way that we treated him on his way out was, I don't cuss a lot on this show, but the way that we treated him was shitty as hell. And I don't think I've ever told you that I'm sorry about that.
Oh man, we talked plenty of times.
But it's like, and this is the thing that I love about Country though. Even after all that, even after all that, like me and him still have a relationship that can't nobody separate. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just like you and me, Mike. We're not even in the same city. But ain't nobody on this earth can say, hey, if we gonna meet up right now, it's gonna be like nothing ever. We ain't skipped a beat. Like,
because the cuts didn't make us.
That's the thing that I took away that I regret so much about not understanding it fully until after. Because when I got out and I chose to get out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Initially, I don't know if you know the story, Country.
We talked.
I was going on a leave of absence, right? Mm-hmm. My bike was down. I just had Olivia. I needed to get my stuff together. You know, I'm trying to get my life in check.
Yep.
They gave me an ultimatum: either you come in, and if you can't pay your dues, we put you out, or you just walk out in general. So I'm like, you're not. I was getting a divorce. That's what it was. I was getting a divorce. My bike was down. I was going everything. Like my life was going to shambles.
They gave you an ultimatum. Either
they said either come in,
with that. I said
either you miss your dues after, because it's what, after 3 months of missing your dues you get put out, or you just turn in all your stuff altogether. So I'm like, you know what, y'all can have it.
I was like, wow, they came up with all this. I was like, that is crazy,
bro.
And that's when I realized, like
I was lucky enough.
How is this supposed to be a brotherhood, but you put me out because I can't pay my you mad over $30?
Bro,
that's
$30.
Bro, I'm saying that's
what we fighting over right now. $30. Crazy. You can't let me get my life together.
So I was.
You can't give me a year.
Yeah,
that's owed to me.
It was crazy, man.
To get my life together, I just found, again. Granted, me and the mother of my child were in a different space, but at that time, my wife at that time, not my current wife. Let me get that straight. Not my current wife.
Get that straight. Got you.
the mother. We had our situations where we were getting a divorce.
Yes.
Whatever that reason was, we're getting a divorce. I'm going through some stuff.
Yep.
I don't have the money because I'm paying to get a divorce. Yep. You can't give me a year to get my life together.
And you would have thought somebody who you gave more than that.
I gave 6 years of my life to this club.
Right, but I'm saying you would think somebody.
And I gave you a place to lay your head, rent free for 2 years.
So when you told me that, I said, "See, this is what I was."
2 years, I gave you rent free.
Yep,
that's crazy.
And you can't give me a year?
Yo, I don't look. I was lucky enough to be friends with a bunch of you guys in DB.
Yeah,
Jonesy was my guy. We were in the same section, same platoon.
Yeah. Gator's the only reason why I'm DB. Hell.
Bro, we were. And then obviously Sal and Country and a couple other dudes around the unit who were in DB, right? First person I saw in DB was my old squad leader, Sergeant Velasco. Yeah.
That big man.
Sergeant Velasco. And then I saw Jonesy. And I told Jones,
he
I was like,
on Jonesy so bad, man.
Bro, this is what I told Jones. I said, look, because I knew Velasco, because Velasco was my squad leader, right? Like he was on my shit. Jonesy was lucky enough to have Sergeant Wagner as his squad leader, so he actually had a good NCO.
Yeah.
So I told Jonesy, I said, look, dude, don't worry about Velasco. He's a puppy dog. He barks really fucking loud, but none of the other NCOs in this company give a fuck about what he's talking about. Yeah. So the first time I saw his cut, I was like, who the fuck let this motherfucker in the MC? He don't.
Did he have a bike at the time?
Yeah, he had a bike. He was right.
Yeah. I said. Matter of fact, I said it to Vanessa. I was like, this motherfucker does not care about anybody but himself. He's gonna be out of that MC.
And I learned that real quick. And he was out.
When I saw him, and I asked about when I asked him about DB, he was like, I can't talk about it. And as soon as he said that, I was like, I knew it, because there are enough good people that I knew from the unit that if you can't make it in DB, it's you. It's not them. Yep. Obviously, things changed towards the latter part of that. Yep. But Jonesy, I mean, when I saw Jonesy take his cut off and be done with DB, I was like, oh, it's done.
Yeah.
Because this dude was bloody DB. Like that dude bled DB.
It was on his arm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
this is the thing the thing that I remember the best about DB. The parties was cool. The rides was great. All that stuff was great. Granted, that stuff got old fast.
Yeah.
However, the one thing that I missed, especially after Country left, was it was at least 2-3 times a month. We going to somebody's house, we throwing the barbecue, just having a potluck at somebody's house every other weekend, if not every weekend. We was at somebody's house doing just
Whatever.
chilling.
Yeah.
No
whatever.
fighting. Like we would bicker because we talking smack and the regular stuff.
The regular stuff.
But once that died down, and it was like, all right, what party we going to this week? And I'm like, I'm tired. I don't want to do this anymore. Like,
well, you always moved in a different space. Like you
but
weren't.
it was just like the parties was cool, but it's like for me, I feel like it got to the point where all they cared about was going to the next.
Right.
Well, when
Again,
you don't
writing is a very crucial part of being an MC. I don't want
to. In the beginning, we had to. We was, you know what I'm saying. Of course, we were supporting to get
our name out
get
there.
The return support when it's our turn for our anniversary.
Right, and I understood that to the T.
It just became, you know what I'm saying, like they took it to the whole nother level. Like,
it almost became priority to have to go to a party every weekend, and if you didn't, you got fined. I'm like, I'm getting fined because I don't want to spend $100 at a party I'm not gonna have fun at.
Yeah, that's crazy. See, that's when it becomes
because in Country, if you. I could get loose. Don't get it wrong. I was loosey booty every now and then. But if you go to the majority of the parties, I wasn't doing a lot.
Yeah, you chill.
Yeah. I'm not. That's not my scene like that. And then after a while, it got
Texas
old.
Magazine right here, man.
We just don't like that. Was never.
Brother, he didn't want to put us on the map for real.
That was never. It was never your scene. The whole time, the whole time I knew you, the biggest party we threw was that toga party at your house. And that was when I first got there in 2008. That was when you were getting your first divorce.
I tell people this. When I joined the MC, that was to find my alter ego, to see what that life was, because I didn't have that life growing up as a kid, all that jazz. And in the military, you could do stuff, but it was still slightly restricted because you're still property of the damn government. So you can't do crazy stuff. So when I joined the MC, I got to be PR. I got to be
a different
somebody else. And it's like, once I got that out of my system, I'm like,
you know what's crazy?
But I think ultimately what killed it to me is that the brotherhood went away.
That's definitely what it is. That's definitely what it is.
If that wouldn't have gone away, I probably would have stayed in longer. I would have sucked it up and I would have figured it out. But it's like the fact that you're forcing me out and giving me this ultimatum after 60 years.
Yeah,
that's the crazy thing is when it becomes patch over brother, it's like, all right, calm.
Like, what are we doing at this point?
It doesn't
clearly it didn't work out the way he thought it was, because Khalid DB doesn't exist anymore.
But you know what's crazy, Country, and I don't even know if I've ever told
all that hard work we put in.
What's gone? What's crazy is Sal damn near had me convinced to buy a bike and prospect for DB. Really? I was that close.
Oh man,
that close.
What happened? To have you.
What happened? I'm telling you,
you dodged the bullet.
I saw people start taking their
he
cuts
probably
off.
would have been the one that would have talked some sense into y'all to see the BS that old boy was doing, and
you probably right.
Would have saved DB, because to tell you what, he's the one that killed DB overall.
I don't care what nobody say. He was the snake.
The only reason I didn't is because I saw Jonesy take off his cut, and when Jonesy laid down his cut, I was like,
that one hurt me. Yeah. That one hurt me.
When Jonesy,
it wasn't his thing. Was with dealing with Beast. You know what I'm saying? Dealing with
Velasco.
But of course, I kicked Velasco out, and he was gone. But then he started. So when we had the issue with the who was that had the accident with us? The young guy who was riding, but he was riding dirty, and we didn't know. So it was me and me and Jones. We out there rolling. And he went riding with us, and he went down. I can't think of his name, but I mean, of course, they ain't do nothing but drill me out and tell me I couldn't ride my bike. It was a whole bunch of craziness for a while. But Jones ended up laying his down, especially because he wanted to make sure everything was going right with his wife. His wife was against it, and it was talking about
a lot. He was going through a lot.
You know what I'm saying? So he really started going through. So I was just like, hey, bro, I understand,
And he was
do
getting
what you
put
want to
out,
do. But
wasn't
he
he?
already knew he's DB for life, So anytime we
Yeah,
talk,
he was getting put out
He was
for
getting put out too, so he had a lot
yeah,
on his plate.
he was going
yeah,
through it, but it wasn't just Jonesy, like Billups, like
yeah,
when certain
He
people
got put
that
out dirty too.
when certain
yeah.
people
Well,
that I
Billups left with me right when I
That's what I'm
dropped
saying. Y'all
out.
got did dirty,
Yeah,
that's what
we
I'm
man.
both
saying.
was just kind of fed up
When I
because of that
started
one
noticing
guy.
when I started noticing cuts come off and people like, all right, I used to be involved with this. I was like, all the people that I want to ride with and hang out with are leaving. What the fuck am I gonna prospect this place for?
Right.
Like I had a 2008 Vulcan picked out. Like it was
Oh man,
750. It was gonna be a badass bike. And then literally I saw Jones. Jones told me he was like, I'm not with DB anymore. I was like, I'm done
man.
instantly. Because if Jonesy's leaving, there's a reason. Because I
Yeah,
trust Jones's his intuition. I
right.
didn't know he was going through everything that he was going through at the
Yeah,
time.
Man,
he was
bro,
But
getting
like
out his
towards that
wife,
end, it
daughter.
was it was it was
Yeah,
going down bad.
yeah. So he was just like, it wasn't nothing dealing with them boys. It was just more of he didn't want to, what I'm saying,
yeah,
have too many issues. He couldn't maintain being a part of DB and still dealing with the stuff with his wife. And she wanted him to move back with him. That was the only way he's gonna be able to see his daughter.
yeah,
So, and then
that's
they ended up getting a divorce anyway. So
Yeah,
it's
we're
like,
not gonna talk
bruh,
about that
I
part.
was like, man, you gave up your cuts, you know what I'm saying? But I was like, I held on to him. I had him for you. I mean, I think I patched him over and gave I can't remember who came in and ended up getting him because I mean I had him for the longest and I was just like, bro, this
I
is
think I
yours.
had Beast old cuts
Yeah,
because
you had Beast
I
Old
put my
cut.
name over his name.
Yeah, but yeah, Gators, I had his for the longest before we actually gave him
I think he gave it to a prospect.
yeah.
that's
But
it's so
Either
crazy.
way, I'm like the initial reason why I joined. It was Jones and Country, and then Minor. Y'all
yeah,
were the three reasons why. And then I fell, Georgia Boy. That man right there was. It was that initial core
yeah,
of Georgia,
yeah.
Gator, you,
The growing pains.
Minor. We was that was like that was it. And then when P5 came into the
Yeah,
fold, it was cool.
yeah,
Smitty Rock came in. I was like, all right,
yeah.
we got something
We
going.
was taking that
You know what
whole
I'm
unit,
saying?
boy.
And
We was
C
trying to
Gutter
get the whole
came from
unit, boy.
Cali. I was like, yo, we got a squad. And then
Right.
this nigga.
Yeah, it just
Then
yo,
he came.
I'm telling you from an outsider's perspective, looking in, like it was like DB when y'all first started, when them boys first came
Ain't
around,
nobody was better than us.
and Jones first got his ink on his arm. I was like, okay, this might be something I wanna throw in with. Like this
Yeah.
is what I want. Like this somebody that
Mike,
I
I
can.
don't think you understand
Yeah,
the magnitude of the haters that DB had
Oh
on
my
the scene.
God.
Like I remember that one CIA party we went to, and they was trying to say for most repped, right? So when you win most rep, that means it's the most people on their motorcycle show up
yeah,
to
yeah.
the party. Now there was a time in the beginning that not everybody was
Not everybody
strapped
was
up.
riding. There you
It
go.
wasn't right. However, that
Big,
day
big
did not
reason.
last long
Did
because
not.
when we showed up, we showed
We
up
showed
deep.
up.
And they was like, "Oh, they ain't got all their
They
bikes.
ain't on no bikes. They ain't on
We
no
got
cruise
these
bikes.
keys. We want to go see them outside. We got keys." Everybody put their keys out of their pocket. I think because they're
Went
like, "We can
outside,
go rev them
revved
up right
themselves
now."
up, and rolled out.
I'm like, "Give me my trophy. We out."
You know, Rough Riders tried to recruit me too. That Rough
Oh,
Riders MC or whatever it is. But I was like,
okay. Oh, that's a lifestyle. Yeah.
That's
yeah,
different. They
I was like,
different.
this.
Respect to them though. No disrespect to Rough
It
Riders.
just wasn't what it. I don't know. I saw them get you remember in Killeen that really shitty like Big Lots parking lot where all of you guys used to gather.
Yeah,
All the
that was the
MCs.
start of every single ride in Killeen.
Yo, anytime I had to go,
Yep.
anytime I had to go to that shopping center, I was like, "Who the fuck am I going to see out today? Is it going to be Rough Riders? Is it going to
I'm
be
gonna tell you
DB?
right now.
Is it going to be D? Is it going to be fucking Banditos? You never know who you're going to see in that square just
When it
because."
came to all male MCs that were not considered supporters or
Right.
outlaws, that world is a whole nother world that we was not a part of
Right.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
had
yeah,
no
yeah.
desire to be that at all. We
Not
was
at all.
fine with being 99 percenters and living
Hitting.
the life.
So
Yeah.
let me ask you this before you move on.
Yes.
I was you know me, PR. I have stupid brainstorms all the time, right? So I literally had designed a 3-piece patch for a cut, like was gonna start my own MC and all this other stuff. A guy I had known um, through the military, through one of my previous units, was like, I sent him all this stuff, emailed him, wanted to be my VP. Like I had typed up bylaws, all this shit.
Nice.
He was like, bro, he was like, I'm gonna tell you why it's a complete waste of time in Texas to do this. He was like, do you know how many people you have to get approved by to
Right
get this
now,
for a 3-piece
You gotta
patch?
get blessed off by one of the outlaw clubs there, if I'm not mistaken.
if not all of them, it's horrendous now. It's like everybody, all the outlaw clubs is there now, and they really came. I mean, when I came and I saw the set when I was there, sometime last year when I was there, and we went there. Thundercat, we went for Thundercat. She she had a big bad motorcycle accident,
Yeah.
but she's actually she came back out. Just to speak to everybody. And just seeing the set, man, I was just like, nah, this ain't even.
It's not the
It's nowhere.
same.
It's not the same at all. I was like, this is, but
It's
it's
completely
because you got
different.
so many 1%ers that of course, you got, what I'm saying, you got banditos who was pretty
That's
much wrong.
Texas is their shit.
Yeah,
But you got Outcasts up there too.
Outcast,
Still.
you got, what I'm saying,
Yeah,
Wolf
but
Soul.
as far as outlaw MCs in Texas is the Banditos territory.
Yeah.
I could care less. I don't want to be a part of none of that.
Yeah,
And
really.
like, I don't know if you know, it was right after. It was maybe like a year or so after you left. We had to sit down with Outcasts.
Really?
They were trying to get us to
Patch over.
not patch over, but become a
support
supporter of
club.
them. And these niggas was actually entertaining it, trying to get Indy to be like, "Hey, let's do it." I'm like, I swear to God, if I have to put a patch that says,
After we had just battled with them and told them we wasn't doing no support.
I'm telling you right now, I promise you. And I was like, y'all not really considering this life, is y'all? I'm telling you right now, if y'all even tell me that I got to put this patch on my chest, I'm laying these hoes down.
Absolutely,
because I'm not doing that.
That was never a 1% or a support club, so I don't understand why that would even be entertained.
It's I don't think they understand the territory that comes with all that. Right. Like, I'm not trying to be involved in
how
that.
much pushback I gave those guys, and we gave them pushback like no other.
Like, we're not doing it. We've already got blessed off from Indy. It's an extension.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's crazy. I don't understand why you would want to even flirt with a 1% lifestyle if you not, because if you not 1% for real,
yeah,
that life will kill you.
Man, a lot of them end up taking it and going over to being 1%.
We had a lot of DB that crossed over.
I did. I saw that too.
We saw a lot of them cross over, and I'm like,
look,
all right.
I get
good for you.
I get
I'm gonna stay over here.
Everybody saw Sons of Anarchy. Everybody knows, that.
And it's not saying that I'm a punk,
right?
Yeah, I ain't no punk. But you're not a 1%er either.
But I ain't about to put my family in that kind of stuff.
That's not being a punk. That's being a family man. That's being a man of God. That's being a responsible person who understands that the life of your daughter.
We came out there for the love of the ride, to ride bikes, support the community.
All that extra stuff for what?
All that extra stuff you get is for the birds. Do
what
you will, do what you may. We came for the love of the ride.
And family.
To look at bikes, to look at the ladies, to enjoy each other, to be able.
I don't look at ladies anymore.
Serve our community. But you know what I'm saying? To become, you know what I'm saying, the king of Biker Texas
Biker Magazine 2000. What year was that?
All that good stuff.
Like 2011, 2012.
Yes.
I gotta look them pictures up because that bike was fugly.
Yeah,
for you
but
guys,
it don't matter though.
You were in that mode.
I was in that thing though. I was Mr. August.
Yeah, you killed
2010.
You were in that bitch. Look, for you guys not listening, you have to understand. Like, I've never been a part of the MC world. I've wanted to, but I never have. These two have been delved into that world. It's a whole different thing. Yeah. You guys are getting behind the scenes of an MC life that a lot of people don't get. A lot of people.
This is not Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah. But it's not even just that. But there are things. Like people in motorcycle clubs don't go on podcasts talking about motorcycle clubs and having issues within that club, and so you guys are getting a different perspective from two people who have been it. But I also want you guys to understand what PR talked about earlier with his health, man. This military shit takes a toll on us. Like
Yes,
I am 37 years old and I have had a major stroke and a minor stroke.
man.
I was, and this is comes to what you were talking about earlier, PR, where you were like,
Brother.
I couldn't work, I couldn't do this, I couldn't do that. Like I had my stroke and I was back at work, front desk of my job 3 days later with a cane and an eye patch.
Jeez, brother.
That's what happens. That's the type of mentality that the military, presses into you and says, "Look, yes, your life sucks. Suck it the fuck up. Drive on. You have to
Right.
provide."
It's definitely wear and tear on our bodies, man.
You guys need.
Boy.
I need people to understand. Like when you talk to somebody and what bugs me is people say, "Oh, this person got PTSD from this person got this from that," and I'm like, hold on, wait, like let's not just throw out PTS like it's some sort of I got a paper cut. Like this
Right.
shit is, you know, PTS is not only associated with people who go to war, it's associated with rape victims,
Right.
people who were abducted. Like, so let's,
Anything
I'm
traumatic, brother. That's the whole thing. A lot of people don't think about.
I'm not
And,
trying to be the fun police or joke police or anything like that, but like just think about what these things really are and the effects that they really have. Like 37 years old, the right side of my face is gonna droop for the rest of my life, right?
man,
Sal is 36 years old, will never be
man.
able to do high competitive, stressful sports. Like
All right.
there's limitations on this man's body. Country, I know you, man.
He ain't
I
there
know
yet, but he gonna get there
Back
soon.
surgery. But
knees,
I'm gonna push
back,
too.
like everybody's got something wearing on their body. So I bring this up to say this. You don't know who you're talking to. You don't know what anybody has been through.
All right.
Stop assuming you know what people are because you were in the army or you were in the air force or like
Exactly.
stop assuming my issues. Stop assuming that you know what makes me tick. Just listen to people's
Just
stories, man.
have that
That's what
compassion.
this is what today was really about. One, it was about fellowship between three brothers who we've been through something that not a lot of people have been through. The serving together is a bond that is not easily or at all broken. It's something that goes on there.
Yeah.
When I told you guys I started this podcast network to spread love, it was partially through this and showing you guys that men can be emotional and men
Yeah,
can talk about mental health and men can talk about reminiscing and being afraid. Like I was fucking terrified I was gonna have to bury my best friend.
man, you and me both.
This is what this podcast network is about showing young men and old men and even women and young girls it's okay to be emotional. It's okay to talk about mental health. It's
Yes.
okay to check in on brothers or sisters or people that you love. I had a mental
Yeah.
health episode recently where Paul would not leave me the fuck alone and literally
Damn right.
And I'm
drove to
glad you
San
did it.
Antonio from Austin without hesitation. Was only here maybe 45 minutes to an hour.
That's what we do, brother.
That's all I needed. That's it.
Look where you at now.
I'm telling you, bro. You guys, we are going to change the world
Yeah.
from this network in a positive way. So look, I'm telling you right now, your favorite podcast, I'm coming for their spot. We're coming for their
Let's
spot.
go. Let's go, man.
One way or another.
The
Blessings to you, brothers. This right here is just amazing, man. This is a dynamic platform, you guys. I appreciate you using your voice, especially to speak about those big topics like that. And a lot of people thinking that we're just supposed to be strong, buff men and get through it
Yeah.
and drive on. But I love that what you're creating here and what you're doing. Keep it going, brothers. Yes, you're going to get that spot. You're going to get that top spot. It's already at that level. Just being on here just today, this is bad. I'm telling you, I feel like I'm on ESPN talking to you brothers right now. And I guess we're going to eventually see that, because it's just that dynamic. So I appreciate you, brothers, for what you're doing. Like I said, that love that bond that we've created over the years, I love that about us, that we can come back and we can talk. And it's not like we missing a beat.
Nope.
right? Probably ain't talked it like much, but hey, it's not missing the
I
beat.
know the last time you and I
You guys
talked is
go.
so funny. The last time me and Flowers talked, I was at my job and he was doing a live, and we were talking about. This was was it right after George Floyd got killed? I think it was
Yeah.
right after
Uh
George
huh.
Floyd. You
Yep.
know, it's funny. We did that live, and I had my shirt on that said Black Lives Matter on the front of
Yep.
it. I got
Yep.
fired for wearing that shirt in my job.
What?
Literally, like 20 minutes after we finished the live, the owner came in and he was like, "I don't want any political statements in my shop." I said, "Okay." I said, "I'll go put a t-shirt on. Like, I'm not trying to cause waves or
Wow.
lose my." He was like, "No, like you're associated with that now, and I don't want you associated with my store." And I said, "Okay." I said, "You understand?"
Wow.
I told him, I said, "You understand that you just fired a disabled veteran with no cause,
With no,
with
that
no wrongdoing, with no
People are weird.
documentation."
that
I was
is
like,
crazy.
I was
But
like, "You
that's people
understand?" I
though,
could.
man.
They were so mad that I wore a Black Lives Matter shirt to the thing, and the girl who was my manager was like, she was like, "Well, if you're firing him, then I'm gonna quit because I'm not gonna be here for another 6 hours by myself." She was like, "It's not happening." So eventually he had to work. He fired me. She quit. He had to work in the store by himself. But that's how long it's been since me and Flowers have talked, and we still it's like a day, a
It's
minute
like it was
hasn't
just
passed.
yesterday, right?
You
None of
that's
it
can't
that's
mess
what I
matters,
up
love
man.
something that's
about it,
good.
man. I absolutely love you guys, man. Like I say, you already know how to reach out. I don't care
Yeah.
if it's over messages, blow that doggone
Yes,
message up. If
sir.
you got to call that, you got my number. Y'all already know what it is. It's never gonna be um, no too much time, or I ain't got time to
Yeah,
be able to speak with my brothers or chop it up with you, or just they be that listening ear.
Yeah.
We gotta have that for each other, man, and that's always genuine over here. PR know you also know that as
yeah,
well.
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
And so you my guys, man. I absolutely love. That's why PR asked me. I was like, heck yeah, man.
yeah.
Like I'm
We
super proud of you guys and everything I've been seeing you doing. So definitely thank you for having me on today. Keep
absolutely,
rocking
man.
out.
We
I just got
appreciate you
one
coming
thing to
on.
say.
What up?
I got one thing to say before Mike closes out. I just want to say, from the bottom of everybody's heart that's helped us, pushed us, watched us, today we hit a big milestone in Heat Check Podcast. Today we crossed over the 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. Um, Me personally, I told
Congrats.
this to Mike. I wasn't expecting this to happen probably till like March or April, but the fact that we were able to do it within the first 2 weeks of 2024, I feel like that just solidifies that what we're doing is right and it's affecting people. It's touching people, whether it's sports related, mental health related. Somebody's out there watching our stuff,
Yeah,
and at the end of the day, we're not doing this for the money. We're not doing this for the fame. We're just doing this because we're just two regular guys. And the fact that we have this many people that see the same thing that we see in each other and able to follow us on this journey, I
absolutely.
know I can say this for Mike. We are forever grateful. And we thank you guys for being on this journey with us and continuing to be on this journey wherever this may lead us.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah, for sure. And just closing out, like I am
bless.
extremely blessed. And Sal, you remember what I gave you for your wedding?
Yep, your dad's Bible.
Yes, I gave you a Bible that my dad had taught probably thousands of sermons from. There's notes and writing, and the cover's torn to pieces.
It's still in the box because I'm scared to take it out.
It's. I mean, my dad had that Bible since 1978 while he was in the Navy. And he rose from a regular E1 to a senior chief petty officer, had that same Bible with him for 20 plus years in the military,
Man,
had it for another 20 years when he got out. And when he passed away, I told my mom it's the one thing that I had that I wanted, and I gave it to Sal because I told him I felt like him and Maya were put on this world to make a difference. And
yes,
sometimes you need instructions and sometimes you need help from a person you've never met.
Absolutely.
And my dad, trust me, the notes in that Bible, I don't know if you can read them, but the life and the blood that's been through that Bible, and I did that for a reason, right? Like I gave it to you because I felt like you were truly put on this earth to be blessed. And it really, to me, is starting to manifest itself.
Yes.
And I find myself, we crossed over 1,000 subscribers today. I told my wife, I said I'm overwhelmed because I don't want to fuck it up. I don't want to do it. And I told PR too, like I gotta take away, I gotta separate myself from the podcast for a minute and just kind of, you know, take myself out of it and just look at it from a purely analytical standpoint. And while I was outside kind of thinking to myself, like I came with this realization, like, and my wife tells me all the time, like, if you say that shit out loud, you're going to manifest the negativity.
Mm-hmm.
You're
Mine
going,
says that all the time.
she's like, so look, if you get 1,000 followers or if you get 100,000 followers, like just keep doing what you're doing. Don't switch it
Yep.
up. Keep it simple.
There you
Just
go.
be where you're at. So I
There you
say all of that to say this. Paul, you were definitely blessed. There's a reason
go.
for
You are
you.
too, my brother.
There's a reason for you on this earth that I don't even think you've started to realize yet. The impact on lives you're gonna make.
I'm
Yep.
working on it.
And
Oh, he's doing
to be
it.
even a part of to
Definitely
be a part of that, I am truly, truly humbled and truly, truly, truly blessed. Um, my life was not in a great place before we started this. Like me and my wife were talking about separating, like we were fighting all the time. Like things were bad, man. I'm telling you, this
man.
podcast has saved my life.
Lessons, man.
And that's why I want to put the love out there. That's why I want to change the world because Paul, I'm telling you, dude, you don't see it in yourself, but I see it, my brother. The difference that you are going to make in people's lives
Yep.
is going to be felt more places than you can even imagine. And
Yes,
I'm
sir.
I'm I'm not prophesizing anything, I'm not predicting anything, but I am telling you right now, the feeling that I have always had with my brother is that he was put on this earth to change lives.
You know
And
what's
it's
funny?
what?
The thing about a Christian, and Country can attest to this. The thing about a Christian, because I am a Christian. I go to church, I read the Bible, all that. Am I good at it? No. But God put us on this earth to do one thing: save one soul at a time. That's it. If I save one person, 10 people, 100 people, 1,000 people, I don't care. If I save one, then I've done everything that God has already put me on this earth to do.
My brother. My brother. You guys are dynamic, man.
All you got to do is save
I
one person.
um, I'm just amazed at you guys, your growth, and yes, y'all are definitely in the right place. Keep doing what you're doing. I love seeing it. I see it in both arenas. Just even when I see PR, how he loved on his family and how he confessed to how much and good and how much he loved God. You the same way, my brother. For real, y'all listen. You got it within you. Hold on to that. Hold on to that light, right? You have that light. Even when you got those hard times, life is going to life, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
hold on to that light, brothers. That's what keeps me smiling. That's what keeps me going on because I know you. Because I know you. Because I know so many others of my good brothers and sisters that I've traveled this world with and got to create memories with. And so I hold on to that light. I hold on to those memories, the good memories, right?
Yes.
And those are the good things that keeps me going and just keeps me moving in the direction. And so, y'all keep doing what you're doing. You have this light right here. This platform is y'all light. Brothers, hold on to it and keep pushing, all right? Just keep doing y'all things. Blessings to y'all. Once again, thank you so much for having me. Tonight was dynamic.
Man,
Oh my gosh.
yeah, it
Wait
was
till the clips come out.
yeah, it was something we definitely, I know, PR definitely needed to get this off his chest. It was
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
that that
I've
needed
been
to
fighting this
happen.
for a long time.
So man, Country, we appreciate you coming on and being with us and being your normal happy self and just a blessing. This is the thing, man. Like there are very few people that you can meet in life that you can say are genuinely have made my life better positively. And these two gentlemen that I'm here right now, Sal much more as a brother, Country much more as a mentor while I was in the military, but even still a brother.
Yeah.
Like you guys have to, people listening, you have to understand. Like I said, there are very few people that come into your life and make it better. When you find those people, you have to hold on to them. And you have to, and this goes out to the men, you have to tell your friends, guys or women, that you love them, that you appreciate them, that you have their back. You have to do it. This is not the 50s where men can't look, oh, that's gay. You told it. No,
Right.
stop it. I'm a
Exactly.
grown ass man.
Exactly.
If my brother that I love him, it's because I love him.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So, with that being said, you guys know what it is. Reach out if you need to talk.
There you go.
Y'all know all the contact info. I will give you this. We just dropped more merch. It is yourheatcheck.myshopify.com. That's where you can find sweet
Okay.
merch like the hoodie I'm wearing right now.
Okay.
Just you wait.
And next week we will be back again. Next week we got the boys in the woods.
And a special guest. We're having a veterans special
Oh
episode next
yes.
week.
It
Okay.
is
So
so
tune in.
as reverent and as talking about being blessings as today's episode was, next week's episode is going to be completely the opposite. You are going
Right.
to get a bunch of veterans around talking shit and being veterans. And it's going to be probably a lighter show. A lot of military memories, a
There might
lot
be
of
a lot
us.
of cussing.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot more swearing.
Well, I
But
can't wait to tune in for that, man. That's
Yeah.
gonna be
it's
dope.
going to be awesome. So, you guys, whoever, if you have jumped on our live stream, anybody from anywhere, Facebook, Twitter, uh,
YouTube.
YouTube, whatever. We love you. We appreciate you watching. To the people who have joined the YouTube channels as part of our 1,000 or 1,300 subscribers, we absolutely love you guys. Wait, I promise 2024 is going to get better.
Yes.
We're bringing in more talent. We're going to expand the network. People have had roles expanded. PR has been given the title of not only chief operating officer, but president of social media engagement. So we are actually building a company, a
Let's do
legitimate
it.
company.
I'm somebody.
Wait till it
Love
comes
it,
to
guys.
fruition,
This
you
is
guys.
awesome.
We
Yeah.
love you guys, and we will see you guys next week.
All right. See y'all on the next one. I definitely be tuning in. All right, brother.